Miller Park is only 10 years old, but today captured more than 40 years of a man who poured his heart and soul into baseball in the city of Milwaukee. All the former players have Hall of Famers on hand to honor current Commissioner Bud Selig, who was honored with a full-size bronze statue today outside Miller Park. And now many of those fans who watched that ceremony are set for baseball here tonight as we have the Dodgers and the Brewers, the first of a three-game series, I should say, here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Well, we've had a full day already. If you've been around the ballpark to honor Bud Selig, we have a big night on hand, too. It's a who's who of baseball. Plenty of Hall of Famers on hand. We're going to hear from the Commissioner Bud Selig himself, the Hammer, Hank Aaron, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount as well, Bob Uecker, all coming up here on the broadcast, all honoring Bud Selig, who brought baseball back to Milwaukee in 1970, ran the ball club through the 1998 season, and now a statue outside next to Robin Yount and Hank Aaron's here at Miller Park. Let's hear from the Hammer, Hank Aaron, and Bud Selig on a big day.
Bud Selig is my hero. He has taken baseball to a far better place than when he found it. And I have no doubt that he will leave baseball signed with honor and integrity and is enduring for the love of the game.
I hope that one day when a child walks past that statue and says to his parent, who's that? The parent will say, he was just a passionate man from Milwaukee who as a youngster just like you had a dream to make this a better place. He never lost hope and he never lost faith. And through it, he made baseball, our community, a better place in which to live.
Bud Selig's going to join the broadcast later, but first, a roster rotation. The Brewers not done making moves, saying so long to a pitcher and welcoming back a position player. Rock and B.A. will explain as we get closer to first pitch. Dodgers and Brewers opening a three-game set.
At Menards on all your home improvement needs. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And brought to you by the new Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. Well, the Brewers getting ready for their first game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just moments ago, Bud Selig joined by Henry Aaron and Robin Yount, the three real-life Messers. Their statues are out in front of Miller Park as of today. Joe Torre coming out with greetings. And Milwaukee, the center of the baseball universe today for sure, as the commissioner of baseball was honored prior to today's game. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder and Rock. This was an unbelievable day for baseball fans all across the country, but especially here in Milwaukee. It was a regular who's who of baseball greats here in Miller Park today.
Yeah, he is the commissioner of baseball, but his heart is right here in Milwaukee, and certainly the people in Milwaukee believe that Bud Selig belongs to them, and we are sitting in this ballpark because of Bud Selig. It was about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, where baseball might have been gone had it not been for his diligence and his tenacity, and it was nice to see all the players came back, dignitaries in the stands, Hall of Famers all over the place. Bob Uecker was at his best. He was awesome once again today, but it was great to be a part of that. Great day here in Milwaukee.
All right, well, we should talk a little baseball here. The Brewers made some news over the off day yesterday. They released David Riskey, a pitcher, and they brought back from the disabled list Carlos Gomez, who is in the starting lineup tonight.
And I think that the Brewers are just tired of having a short bench. Only 4 guys on the bench. Corey Hart still nursing that hamstring issue, but Gomez, he spent some time on the disabled list, and the Brewers are hoping that his energy, his ability to get on base, hopefully improving, but when he gets on base, he certainly makes things happen. Very good defensively. They're going to give Gomez an opportunity. They're going to take a look at Kane. They're going to look at Dickerson. Right now, the Brewers are looking toward next year to see what they have for center field.
The Brewers and the Dodgers. It's game 1 of a 3-game series. We're going to be visiting with Commissioner Selig during the broadcast today. A number of other Hall of Famers are going to make an appearance as well. Stay with us. We'll have a lot of fun tonight. Baseball in Milwaukee. It's here because of him. We've got the first pitch coming up next. Robin Yount, the kid, you know about those. And now there is a third statue, and that is one of Alan H. Bud Selig, the commissioner of baseball and the man who brought baseball back to Milwaukee for fans to enjoy for the life of this ballpark. We're set for baseball here tonight. Dave Bush on the mound for the Brewers against the Dodgers here today. Ryan Theriot leads off. And away we go from Miller Park. The roof is open. Roof was closed during batting practice. Some rain showers in the area, but we're wide open now, and it's a great night for baseball here in Wisconsin. It has been a whirlwind day for the Brewers front office and many of the dignitaries who have arrived from all over the country and all over the world really today. As Theriot takes a strike, we certainly want to send out congratulations and job well done to Tyler Barnes, Alita Mercer, Darren Anderson, and their great crew putting on just a fantastic show and performance earlier today here on the grounds of Miller Park.
Yep, not a hitch. It was outstanding.
Little flare that's going to fall, and Theriot starts it with a single. And the Dodgers with a base runner to get us going here tonight. Here are the Dodgers today, turned in by Joe Torre. His lineup card has Ryan Theriot at the top, Andre Ethier batting second with Manny Ramirez, who just returned to the lineup this weekend. Then it's James Loney, Matt Kemp, and Ronnie Belliard in the middle with Jamie Carroll, Rod Barajas, newly acquired catcher, and Ted Lilly, the Subway lineup. Joe Torre's Dodgers hanging on by the skin of their teeth right now. They are 12 games back in the division. It's out of reach for the division title. They are 7.5 back in the wild card race and just one game over 500. And so many questions about Joe Torre and where he will end up following this season.
Yep, contract is over for Joe Torre, and there are a number of positions that will probably be available, and Joe Torre, I would imagine, could go to any one of them if he chooses. But the Dodgers have been average at best at just about everything so far this year. It's been a big disappointing season for Joe Torre.
Andre Ethier hitting second in this lineup now that Manny Ramirez has returned. Ramirez missing a good chunk of the schedule, and since the broken pinky from Andre Ethier, which happened earlier in the season, that was in May, he has not been the same hitter. Off to a blistering start, as you can see, with a batting average, a lot of power, a lot of RBIs. Ethier hurt the Brewers badly. He hit a grand slam, game-winning home run at Dodger Stadium in May.
I don't think anybody could have kept up to the pace that he was at early in the season. I mean, still a 300 batting average, and the numbers he's been able to post in Dodger Stadium, very good. That's not an easy ballpark to rack up big offensive numbers.
He broke the pinky on his right hand and missed about 3 weeks when it was all said and done. And Rock, you know how delicate hand injuries with hitters are, especially home run hitters like Andre Ethier, and it just hasn't been the same kind of feel for him since he's come back.
Yep, hands and wrists, and a lot of times you come back, you're wondering if it's 100%. You're not 100% going after baseballs, and you suffer through that. Those things take a while. Wrists, fingers, hands, those types of things are very tough to play through.
Two balls and a strike on Ethier. We're just underway from Miller Park tonight. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us. Runner goes, the throw to second, right on the money. Theriot gunned down by Lucroy. And the first out of the ball game comes at second base.
And Dodgers will steal some bases. Their biggest stolen base threat on the disabled list, Rafael Furcal. But Theriot not afraid to take a bag or two. Remember that at his time with the Chicago Cubs, and Lucroy got him easily. Good job by Bush holding Theriot close. And not even close, an easy call for the second base umpire.
So 1 out, 3 balls, 1 strike on Ethier. Dodgers will be here for 3 games as his homestand continues. Ethier in the left. Braun with room. And 2 men are out here in the first inning. Let's check the Brewers defensively. You've seen Braun. He's joined by Lorenzo Cain and Carlos Gomez in the outfield. Corey Hart still nursing a sore hamstring. Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder. Jonathan Lucroy catches Dave Bush tonight. The Brewers defense brought to you by Blaze.
Yeah, Bushy making his 25th start, 26th appearance, coming off perhaps one of his best starts of the year against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. 6 innings, 1 run in a win on August 17th. He's 1-1 against the Dodgers. This is his 5th start against Los Angeles.
And here is Manny Ramirez. Just returned Saturday, did not play Sunday. So just his 2nd game back. The numbers for Ramirez in only 62 games this year. 8 homers, 39 runs batted in. He's had a couple of stints on the disabled list with a calf injury.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez, Ryan Theriot, and Ron Belliard have given Dave Bush problems throughout their careers. Ramirez 4 for 7 with a home run against Dave Bush.
And he breaks his bat, a little flare. Back is Weeks, and he's got it. Nice play, Ricky Weeks. Ranging out deep into the outfield grass. And the first inning is over for Dave Bush. Now the Brewers will take their hacks against Ted Lilly. The Brewers will line up tonight. It's brought to you by Subway. Weeks, Escobar, and Braun at the top. Look what Braun has done in the month of August. A .439 batting average. Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Lorenzo Cain in the middle of the order. Carlos Gomez returns from a concussion. He's in right field. Jonathan Lucroy catches, and Dave Bush rounding it out. And here is Ted Lilly, no longer a Cub. He's now a Dodger, and he's been pitching well as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers here lately.
Yeah, 23 starts. That complete game of the assault came in his last outing against the Colorado Rockies at Dodger Stadium. This guy has been lights out. A 4-0 record and a 129 earned run average in his first 4 starts with L.A.
Well, he was a top shelf free agent 4 years ago, and now that he's 34 years of age, you figure he'll be among the elite free agent pitchers available this offseason at the end of his contract. One of the main reasons why the Cubs wanted to trade him to Los Angeles. Lilly came over here with Ryan Theriot. And it seems now that former Cubs are scattered throughout the National League West. Even Mike Fontenot has shown up in San Francisco. The defense behind Ted Lilly. Manny Ramirez in left field. Matt Kemp in center with Andre Ethier in right. Ronnie Belliard, Jamie Carroll on the left side with Ryan Theriot and James Loney on the right. Rod Barajas, newly acquired catcher, behind the plate for Ted Lilly.
And newly acquired is right. They picked him up on Sunday after he was put on waivers. Russell Martin out. He's been out. Rafael Furcal is out. He's been on the disabled list for a while. Been a rough go of it injury-wise for the Dodgers.
Ball and 2 strikes on Weeks. Now, Furcal has the back injury that the Dodgers feel he'll be returning soon, perhaps as early as next week. Russell Martin out to the season with a hip injury, so we won't see Russell Martin until 2011. And one of their best pitchers, Vicente Padilla, back on the disabled list with a bulging disc. So yes, the Dodgers have had their injury woes too, as Weeks sends one deep right field. Back is Ethier. He's got it. And one away in the first. So Ted Lilly, the Dodger, Bill Schroeder.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. I mean, that big curveball, you can't ask for a better stadium and a ballpark to pitch in than Dodger Stadium. You can make some mistakes there, but Lilly hasn't made too many. He's 4-0, 129 earned run average. Given up 3 home runs so far, and he has won 3 of the games that he's won. The Dodgers have only scored 2 runs for him in each game. So he's pitched well.
Well, Dodger pitching was among the best in Major League Baseball the first couple of months. Then they lost Padilla. They've really had issues with their bullpen as well. Jonathan Broxton was taken out of the closer's role by Joe Torre last week after a meltdown in Philadelphia. The Phillies scored 8 runs in the final 2 innings to come back and beat the Dodgers. Things have unraveled a little bit since for Los Angeles. Escobar with 1 away, the young shortstop batting in the 2-hole again tonight.
Yeah, Corey Hart still bothered a bit by that hamstring situation. He was out yesterday, doing sprints in the outfield. Saw Dan Wright out there with him. So they're going to give Corey Hart a little bit more time. They don't want to rush him back and risk losing him for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, Hart did take batting practice today. He is participating in full baseball activities, but now it's at the time where they want to see how he responds after the workout yesterday and the baseball drills today. The team took an off day yesterday. Many of the injured players were here, including Corey Hart.
Dave Bush was out doing his long toss. Seems like we see Dave Bush a lot pitching right after an off day. Bushy doesn't like that too much. He was out doing long toss. He usually does it with his wife.
That's right.
But Marcus Hanna was out there with him yesterday.
No disrespect to Mrs. Bush. Yeah, I remember last year, was it, or maybe 2 years ago, Carrie was out with Dave, and they were long tossing, and she was hanging right with him. She was throwing at 120, 130 feet.
Catch it on a fly.
No problem. 2-2 to Escobar. Popped him up. Matt Kemp, the Gold Glove center fielder from a year ago, hauls it in for the out. 2 up, 2 down in the first. And here comes Ryan Braun. We gave you a taste of those numbers in the month of August. Now the power numbers are starting to come. He's belted home runs in consecutive games. And a .439 batting average in the month has his overall batting average pushing 300 once again.
Yeah, and that base hit you see right there, the reason why. He's really sticking his nose on that outside corner. Taking the ball to the opposite field, putting together some pretty good 2-strike at bats. Drove in all 3 runs for the Brewers on Sunday.
6 for 10 against the San Diego Padres in that 3-game series. And Braun gets sawed off. Matt Kemp settles under it. And the first inning is in the books at Miller Park. Off and running here. It's a beautiful night. Thanks for being with us.
MLB.TV Premium, you can enjoy HD quality, home and away coverage, multi-game view, and the ability to pause and rewind live games. Visit Brewers.com to order and to get more details.
Crowd still filing in here at Miller Park. And there is Bud Selig. Bud's going to join us in the third inning. Got a date with Bob Uecker and Corey Provis.
Yeah, get those two together. It might be more like the fifth.
That's a good point. Maybe we shouldn't tease the third inning.
Yeah. That was a great ceremony today. How about Uecker? Was he at the top of his game?
He delivers always. Bob Uecker was the master of ceremonies today. It started with a luncheon today at noon up in the club level, and nice gathering of baseball dignitaries and some local media there as well. And then everybody kind of moved downstairs to the outside of Miller Park, the home plate entrance, and that's where the big tent was, and they broadcast the event, and it was the actual unveiling of the statue, and the speakers today included Bob Uecker and Robin Yount and Hank Aaron, and it was all started by Mark Atanasio. Then they unveiled the statue, which nobody had seen. Bud Selig hadn't even seen the statue, and that was a very touching moment. And then Bud Selig had a few words as well.
Yeah, Bud Selig had to choke back, but seemed to be some tears from time to time, and he was very touched. He did not know all the players that showed up were actually going to be there. He was wondering. The guy that ran the operation for Major League Baseball said that he had no idea and kept asking, are there going to be some of the old guys going to be showing up? He had no idea, but it was great.
James Loney, a base hit to right. Well, among the dignitaries that were there today, Joe Torre, and here's what Joe Torre had to say about Commissioner Selig.
Well, they wouldn't have baseball here if it wasn't for Bud Selig. I know I met Bud in 1956 when I came, made my first airplane trip, actually, in 1956 to watch the Braves play. My brother was his rookie year, and he was just a huge baseball fan at that time. And Bud never wavered. I know he was very hurt when it was decided that we were going to move to Atlanta. And we, had to stay here actually an extra year because there was a restraining order against us. So instead of leaving after the 64 season, we left after the 65 season. And Bud at that time was very determined to get a new ball club here. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he was very angry and very hurt by the fact that Major League Baseball was basically abandoning, this great city, the heartland of our country.
Yeah, Joe Torre goes way back with Bud Selig and Bob Uecker, and his roots are very much entrenched. He and his brother Frank Torre was here today. The first organization, the first franchise to draw 2 million fans, the Milwaukee Braves, and lo and behold, they took off to Atlanta.
Well, it was the franchise in Milwaukee as a member of the National League that really spearheaded the move further west to Los Angeles. The Brooklyn Dodgers ended up in Los Angeles based on the fan base in Milwaukee, and that's what Bud Selig was trying to return to the fan base when he finally was able to accomplish that goal in 1970. After the Milwaukee Braves left, they went to Atlanta, 5 years without baseball before the Seattle Pilots were purchased by Bud Selig and his group of investors and returned to Milwaukee. And it kind of all came together here today with the Dodgers in town, with Joe Torre here, who is so representative of the Los Angeles Dodgers now, but the Milwaukee Braves back then. And it was just a great moment, and really one of those moments that I think you'll remember for a long, long time if you were happen to be involved. Us, of course, we remember being involved in that scene, and some of the great players that came by. Bud Selig told me earlier today, just before we came on the air, that his favorite part of the event today was when the players, including you, Bill Schroeder, walked by him. At the end, the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra was playing. I mean, it was like a scene right out of a movie.
Yeah, it was well done. And Bud noticeably touched by the whole scene. His wife, Sue Selig, and all the Selig kids were in attendance. Wendy Selig, Sari Selig, and it was nice.
Kemp fouls it away. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
It's amazing how a baseball fan, that's how I describe everybody early on here in Milwaukee, a baseball fan brings a major league franchise to a city. He builds it, gets a stadium built, and he becomes commissioner of baseball. And his description, a baseball fan when he was young.
Yeah. He said as a kid he wasn't even able to dream as big as some of the things that have happened here. Well, meanwhile, the Brewers trying to put a button on the night by picking up a victory against the Los Angeles Dodgers in front of a great crowd here at Miller Park tonight. It'll be the first of three. The homestand continues with the Pirates beginning on Friday, a 3-game series with Pittsburgh, and it all a 9-game 10-day homestand. Oh, by the way, you can see a lot of what went on earlier today by logging on to foxsportswisconsin.com. We'll have some of the speeches, some of the interviews, and there's a shot of the players that were in attendance here as well, unveiling the statue of Commissioner Seelig. So a lot of that sound is on foxsportswisconsin.com. You can enjoy it. Telly Hughes was hard at work earlier today. Kemp into center field. That ball is well hit and way back there. It is high off the scoreboard. My goodness, Matt Kemp sends one up there in the Prince Fielder territory, and it's a 2-run homer to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, 22nd home run of the year for Matt Kemp. You remember we were in L.A. They were giving him the business. He was having a tough time driving in runs, but he has certainly turned things around. Matt Kemp, big and strong, very athletic, and got a curveball right down the middle of the plate and knocked it off the Pepsi sign out there in center field. That is a blast.
Yeah. Not many that can hit him that far, and he really was providing all of his own power with the sweeping curveball from Dave Bush. 22nd home run of the year for Kemp. He now has 71 RBIs. Chopper over to McGee. Belliard. He's gunned down, one away in the second. Well, somebody stuck one into the Jumbotron up there earlier today. Look at that baseball, Rock. That's right about the spot where Matt Kemp just hit his home run. So Rock will hop on up there and
after the game, that might be our post-game instructional.
Whoever wants to climb up there can have it.
How to scale the scoreboard and get a baseball.
It's still up there. Right under the 6th inning. What a great shot. Looks like a star in the night from here. But it's a real-life Major League Baseball with a Bud Selig signature on it. One gone for Jamie Carroll. Out to Weeks. Nice backhand pickup in time. 2 outs.
And Dave Bush in that last start against the Cardinals, kept the baseball down, only walked one, didn't have many strikeouts. So the strikeouts weren't a big part of what he did, but he got outs early in the count, only 91 pitches to get through 6 innings. And a Brewer 3-2 victory. That was the beginning of a stretch of 4 in a row for the Brewers.
2 outs for Rod Barajas, coming over from the New York Mets. He was let go by the Mets, picked up by the Dodgers. As a Met, Barajas hit .225. Did hit some home runs early in the season for New York. Had 12 homers and 34 runs batted in. But the Mets doing a bit of cleaning house as well. The Dodgers at the time feeling like Barajas could maybe give them that late push they need. But they continue to slip now. 7.5 back in the wild card race.
And it's awfully difficult to replace Brad Ausmus.
That's going to fall, a base hit. And Barajas on his way to second, bounces off the sidewall and then bobbled by Gomez. So Barajas, who looked doomed from the start to get thrown out, ends up at second base with a double.
Yeah, big burly catcher. It looked as though Gomez had a chance to get him, but I think he just tried a little bit too hard to be too quick and lost it. I said Brad Ausmus, but it's tough to replace Russell Martin. I mean, he does so many things so well. And with Brad Ausmus, their backup catcher, you can't expect Ausmus to play all that often. A jam shot just out of the reach of Prince, and it ends up being a 2-out double.
So Barajas with a double in the third hit of the inning. Fourth hit of the game for the Dodgers. And here's Ted Lilly. Lilly loves to swing the bat. He's just not all that good at it. He's 2 for 39 this year. A .051 batting average. And he struck out 20 times among those 39 at-bats.
You still got to make your pitches. The one thing you don't want to do to a guy like that, leave an off-speed pitch up in the zone. Stay hard on the hands and keep the breaking pitch in the dirt.
Strike from Bush. And a ball and 2 strikes. By the way, Rock, they measured the Matt Kemp home run, 447 feet. High off the scoreboard in center field. Maybe because of the arc.
Right.
You just don't see many home runs hit that far and that high. As Lilly strikes out, the inning is over. But Matt Kemp sends one way out of here to give the Dodgers the early lead here tonight. It's 2-0.
More than Bug Selig. Commissioner, on behalf of the City of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Brewers Organization, the other MLB owners, executives, and many dignitaries and special friends here today, and the countless numbers of people whose lives you have touched, we love you back.
The comments from Mark Atanasio, Brewers chairman, earlier today. He started off the proceedings today following Bob Uecker. He said he didn't want to follow Bob Uecker, but he ended up, in fact, following Bob Uecker. Always a tough act.
He said two very tough things to do. Follow up Bob Uecker and hit in front of the pitcher. That's what Mark was saying.
That's right.
I agree with both of them.
And unlike Bud Selig, who used to like to watch the games from on high when he was the owner of the Brewers, Mark Atanasio prefers to watch it down by the dugout in those hand-picked seats. Prince Fielder leads off this second inning, and that gets through the shift. A base hit for Prince. And a first hit for Milwaukee comes to lead off the second inning.
Now Prince hits this one so hard, and even with the big shift, you had a man in short right field, still not able to get there. It looked like Belliard out in short right field, wasn't it? Yes, it was. They put the third baseman way back there and put everybody else where they ordinarily would play. That makes sense to me. That's the way to do that.
First time I saw that done was by the Marlins manager, Freddie Gonzalez, 2 years ago. When
makes sense.
Moved the third baseman over, and then only one position player is actually out of position
instead of three. Why not?
Just makes for a long walk for the third baseman, that's all. Casey McGee with a runner at first. What a great season he's having. McGee with 20 home runs, 82 RBIs, and hitting at a .287 batting average to start play today. That slow curveball from Lilly is in there for a strike.
No, that's the thing. It's such good command of his fastball, which he doesn't hesitate to elevate in the strike zone with 2 strikes. He's able to throw that big loopy curveball for a strike. Not many can do it.
That one's hit well. Deep left center field. Did McGee get it? That is going to be off the wall. Takes a big bounce. And here comes Prince around third. He'll score. McGee on his way to third. And he'll hold up there. And a good thing. A triple for McGee, an RBI. The Brewers are on the board in the second.
Now, Matt Kent got a little bit too close to that baseball. I think he might have thought that was out of the ballpark. He got a little bit too close. And that angle out there in center, ball kicked right away from him, and Casey McGee on his horse. I think Casey McGee thinking about an inside the park home run. He got about second base and thought, I might get one here. But a mistake fastball by Ted Lilly, middle in, and Casey able to turn on it. Kemp makes a mistake to get too close. And that allows Prince to score, and Casey all the way to third base.
His second career triple, his first of the season. And it's 2-1 Brewers as McGee drives in Fielder. I think about halfway between second and third, McGee was feeling a little bit of that grand piano on his back. He might have been looking for Brad Fisher's stop sign about that point.
So what you're saying is between first and second he's thinking about it, and then between second and third he thought better of it. I don't know. I don't know. I tell you, you don't really feel that when you're thinking about right there. I think he thinks 4 bases, and then Brad Fisher puts a very late stop sign on him, and you might be right. Casey might have been relieved.
You can almost hear Casey thinking to himself, stop sign, stop sign, stop sign. Well, it's his first triple of the year. And McGee still huffing and puffing over at third base. Drives in his 83rd run of the season. Lorenzo Cain trying to tie it up. And a swing and a miss. Lilly picking on the rookie. Strikes him out.
That's what I'm talking about, that fastball. I mean, it's only 88 miles an hour right down the middle. You can see his face. Upset with the location, but because of that 70-mile-an-hour curveball, hitters always have that in the back of their mind when they go up there against Lilly. He's able to sneak that heater right by him. Most pitchers don't get away with this. I mean, belt high right down the middle.
Here is Carlos Gomez in his return to the Brewers. A big cut and a miss from Gomez. Spent 2 weeks on the disabled list, and you see the large helmet that Gomez is wearing today. A little more protection in there. After the concussion, he was hit by a pitch in Chicago. and has been on the DL ever since. Bouncing ball back to Lilly. And that is out number 2. So the Brewers with a runner at third base and nobody out. Still have him standing there with 2 away now in the second inning.
Well, that's the little things that a lot of times mean the difference between wins and losses. You got a hot pitcher out there, the man at third and nobody out. Got to figure a way to get him in. And it's going to be now up to Lucroy to get the base hit. That's if they decide to pitch him. You got Dave Bush on deck.
So it's up to Jonathan Lucroy here with 2 away. 2-1 Dodgers. Matt Kemp with a 2-run homer for Los Angeles in the top of this frame. Lucroy already has a caught stealing on his card tonight. He gunned down Ryan Terrio in the first. His AAA manager was here today, Don Money. He was part of the group of former players that joined Bud Selig on stage. Always great to catch up with Don Money.
They'll give you some insights as to what's going on down there in the bushes. Good teacher, Don Money. Organization very glad to have him.
Yeah, we mentioned the who's who in baseball that was here today, and Hall of Famers everywhere, club owners. And there was a fan named Steve who saw Don Money and had to have a picture with him. He said, "Don Money, my first glove in 1972 was a Don Money baseball mitt."
Yeah, he could pick it. He was with the Phillies then, wasn't he?
And the fan, Steve, he still has that glove, and he got his picture with Don Money, and kind of just blew past Hank Aaron and Bud Selig and Raman Young and Paul Molitor, but he got his Don Money picture. I think Don kind of thinks I staged all of that. That's
something,
not true.
Something for everybody today.
That's what I'm saying. Ball and 2 strikes on Lucroy. In the air to right. Playable for Ethier. And the side is retired. Casey McGee drives in a run. 2-1 Dodgers. And when we come back, we will visit live with the commissioner. He's headed to the booth. Supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more.
As a kid growing up in Milwaukee, as the senator said, I loved the game of baseball, and I dreamed of a life in baseball, a dream that certainly has come true.
Comments from Commissioner Bud Selig earlier today, and we are pleased to be joined now by baseball's commissioner, and you're more like Milwaukee's favorite son today as we honor you with a statue. What did you think of the statue when you first saw it?
Overpowering. I normally, especially as a commissioner, the last 18 years, I've learned not to get too up or too down. It's like a player, as Billy knows. But the last 3 or 4 weeks has really made a really emotional impact on me. I've thought a lot about a lot of things, talked to a lot of people, and today was really remarkable. I don't know what it was. The ceremony, I think you both would agree, was really dramatic, emotional. Just seeing all my players back again, you can't imagine how much that meant to me. And Robin Yount said it well, and Billy knows this. He was here and watched all my temper tantrums and everything else. But we were really a family. It was a wonderful relationship. Jimmy Gantner said in the paper this morning he doubts that any owner will ever be as involved and have the kind of relationship. They were my family. We lived and died together. We did a lot of things, but so it was the whole day was something. And to think that you have a statue here, and I think replayed all the struggles of getting a team. Took 5.5 long, really tough years. And then the Miller Park controversy, which you certainly will remember, which was unpleasant, as many stadium battles are. This one was tough, but it's all worthwhile. I meant what I said in the speech today, which I wrote over and over again. You have to believe in what you do, and I know when the Braves left here, I was just 29 years old, and I made up my mind, we're going to get a team. And boy, there was a lot of disappointment. Got passed over by the American League, got passed over by the National League, thought we had the White Sox block, but I taught myself and a lot of people, I guess, about persistence, and then the same thing came in the Brewer thing, and in a great sentence. Same thing as the commissioner, because you're confronted with a lot of difficult problems.
Now, did you know all the players are going to be around? That was an impressive group of players, not just up on the stage, but in the stands. I mean, Al Kaline and Frank Robinson and
well, I didn't know. I certainly didn't know about the players till right before. Nobody had told me. Mike Ilitch, the owner of the Tigers, was coming, and he called yesterday. I knew he was coming with Dave Dombrowski, and he said, I saw Al Kaline yesterday, and he had read about this. Do you mind if he comes? I said, what, are you kidding? I said, I'd be thrilled. And it was great to have him. And, of course, Frank Robinson works for us. Ernie Banks wanted to come up for it. It was when you looked out at that audience today, Bill, Ryan, that was quite a group. And so I'm, I guess, emotionally spent tonight, but I'll be fine tomorrow. But I guess in the end, if you'd ask me, how do you feel tonight? Really grateful. Really, really grateful.
Well, it felt like, with the dignitaries that were there, I think somebody made the comment earlier today, but that's kind of what a funeral would be like. But you got to live through it and enjoy all of their company and visit with us here today. But it was some kind of gathering.
Well, he's here tonight. I was just told we were over talking to Bob Uecker. Dick Ebersol, the president of NBC Sports, who's been a friend of Bob's and mine for a long time, said to me after the ceremony, now you know what your funeral is going to sound like. And I said, well, hopefully that's a long time off.
I hate to ask this question with 2 outs, but
okay.
of all the things that you've accomplished, I mean, bringing the Brewers to Milwaukee and Miller Park and being commissioner for 18 years, what has been the most rewarding and what has been the toughest?
Well, no, that's a fair question. The most rewarding is bringing the Brewers to Milwaukee because, as I said today, you have no idea the odds were really stacked against us. They didn't want to come back here. We got passed, as I said, both expansions, and it was really ugly. It was tough. And so that will always stand to me as a thing that I'm proudest of. The toughest, I've had a lot of really tough things as commissioner, but there was nothing tougher because of a lot of personal actions during the stadium controversy. You don't mind people having different opinions. That's part of life. That's, as I always say, that's democracy. But the lot of shenanigans and things that went on were just inexcusable because there was no hidden agenda here. They're not like a lot of other teams.
the inning will continue. Safe is the call at second base.
This was a group led by me trying to stay in Milwaukee. So last thing in the world, you know me well enough to understand that. And so it was a difficult process. I've told students and teaching courses both in Madison and at Marquette here that they asked me that same question, Billy, and the answer is a stadium battle because of some behavior which I found troubling.
Commissioner Selig's day today unveiled the statue prior to today's game with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It all comes together because this is the 40th anniversary season. A franchise that was reborn in 1970, and as you sit here today in our booth looking at this ballpark, the roof is open. It was closed earlier, then it opened, and a full house here. What a remarkable sight it is, I'm sure, from your perspective.
Yeah, it's amazing. Somebody asked me today when it really hit me, and of course the opening of Miller Park. But you know when it hit me? When the Brewers made the playoffs and walking into that first game here against the Phillies, the excitement and the thing, and you thought back to all the negativity, and this was well worth it.
Can you stay with us?
Sure.
We'd love to visit another half inning or more.
Sure can.
Inning is over, 2-1. The Dodgers still lead the Brewers. The Brew Crew coming up. Night for baseball in late August, and we are joined by Commissioner Bud Selig, whose statue was unveiled earlier today, and Bud's kind enough to join us here and watch a little baseball, and we'd love to get into some baseball-related topics. But before we do that, I want to ask you about Hank Aaron's speech, because Hank Aaron said something today that struck me thinking about you listening to that, saying you are his hero. Hank Aaron, of all people, saying that.
Well, that was, we've been very good friends for 52 years. And I said later on, and I really believe this, that Hank Aaron today, even more so in the last 20 years, is now the greatest American icon in sports in this country, no question about it. He really... he broke Babe Ruth's record, and he's conducted himself so beautifully, as you know. He's one of the classiest human beings. And he and I we've had a lot of fun together. We've laughed together. We've shared disappointments and things together. But, that's the ultimate compliment. And as I said to Tom Hardrecord on Sunday in the end of an interview, and he said, well, how do you feel about this going up? And I said, well, wind up between the hammer and the kid. That's pretty good.
And many feel that your statue should have been the first one up, including the two players, Hank Aaron and Robin Yount.
Well, they both said that to me originally, but they've meant so much to the game, not only here, but nationally, particularly Henry, but Rob, too. And,
Ricky Weeks sends one to deep left. Manny Ramirez makes a play.
You know, Bud, you've accomplished so much as commissioner. We're not even going to get into what you think your most impressive or your proudest accomplishment. What's next for Major League Baseball? What's on your docket?
Well, we have labor in 2011. We have the internationalization of the game. Our network, our channel is doing very, very well. Our internet company, BAM, is one of the largest in America today. I mean, we're doing really, really well. So I want to keep us moving, Bill and Brian, in the right direction. We were burdened for 22 years before I took over, and I was in the game with 8 work stoppages, as you remember. And they were all painful. One was more painful than the other, and hurt us really badly. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen again. I want to make sure that this game continues to flourish, and it will.
Commissioner Seelig, it's great to have you. You have a lot of people waiting for you outside these doors,
Thank
so
you,
we
Brian.
appreciate your time today.
Pleasure to be here. Billy, as always.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
The statue out in front of Miller Park. Bud Selig. Four, 2, 3, 4. W for Ricky Weeks' healthy season. X for Corey Hart's hot summer. Y for Casey McGee's encore from last year. And Z for John Axford's performance this year. So text the corresponding letter to 234-234. Great to spend a few minutes with the Commissioner of Baseball. As Matt Kemp tries to get out of the way but makes contact with the baseball, which is in play, and that's an out. But Bush comes high and tight as Kemp squares to bunt. And an unusual first out to this 4th inning.
Yeah, hits one off the scoreboard and then tries to bunt for a base hit. Almost got that one in his chops, and an easy out for Dave Bush. Boy, look out. Up and in, trying to get in on his hands, and Kemp almost wore that one. An easy out. You could tell by the reaction and just the demeanor of Mr. Seelig how humbled he has become after this statue dedication, a great ceremony. Brewers doing a fabulous job, Major League Baseball, and a lot of fun. But you could tell that he is he's very humble. He's going to sleep good tonight.
Exactly. He's had a very busy day today. We appreciate a few minutes with the Commissioner, and of course he watches a lot of the games from home and always looks at this ballpark, and you know what has to go through his mind. He has a perspective that nobody else has. Not one person in this town has the perspective that he does on not just the franchise being here, but the ballpark being here. And I can tell you, growing up in a city that did not have a Major League franchise, it hurts to try to follow a Major League franchise when it's not your own. Right. So the fact that he was able to get baseball back in Milwaukee. And interesting comments that he said it really hit him the first home game of the postseason of 2008. That was Game 3 of the NLDS. Because it's not just to have a ball club here, it's to have a team with a chance to win and a place to convene all spring and summer long, and even into the early fall. There are 2 outs for Bush here in the 4th, and that leads us to our AT&T trivia. Who are the 2 players in Brewers franchise history to have stolen 70 or more bases in a season? One of those players is in the ballpark tonight. We'll
Yes, sir. Yeah. I think a lot of the players, I was talking to a lot of the players up in that little luncheon area up there at the nice club, and fabulous food as usual up there. But everybody had a story about Bud and that loge area, that cast iron little loge area that some of the press kind of filtered into. It was outside. He'd be pacing back and forth, and things weren't going very well. Robin Young was talking about that in the ceremony today, and he wore his emotions on his sleeve. You could tell that he was not an owner that was passive about his team.
And did so today, even in this interview we just had with him. You could, I don't know if you picked it up on television, but you can almost feel he's still quivering about the entire process of this unveiling of the statue, and a man who really doesn't want to cast any light upon himself. And in his job, that's almost an impossible task. But it was all about Commissioner Selig today and his contributions to not just baseball here in Milwaukee, but all across Major League Baseball. Say a reminder, you can join the Bucks players, alumni, and coaches on Monday, September 20th at Ozaki Country Club for the Milwaukee Bucks Golf Tournament to benefit cystic fibrosis. It's an 18-hole scramble. It begins at noon, ends with a post-golf dinner reception and silent auction, plus a Q&A with John Hammond, the Bucks general manager. Just visit foxsportswisconsin.com, click on the events banner for complete details. And the Bucks were represented today by Senator Cole, and he and Bud Selig go back to the 5th grade, I think it was.
Nice story that Senator Cole told about the competitive nature of Bud Selig, even back in those young days.
Playing on the Sandlots.
Bringing in a ringer pitcher for the championship game in the Sandlot League.
He was more like a 10th grader than he was a 6th grader.
Right.
And he threw a no-hitter against Senator Cole's team, and then Senator Cole said, and this is the man who's responsible for keeping the integrity of the game. It was a good laugh.
Yep. There was none of it true. I don't think.
I don't know. He didn't really dispute the accusation, Bud Selig. Rod Barajas, his brand new shiny Los Angeles Dodgers batting helmet. You can always tell the guys who just arrived to a team just by the look of their helmet. Right out of the case. Spent most of the season with the Mets. Batting 8th tonight for Joe Torre. He had a double his last time up. A pitch out, runner started, then stopped, play at first, and it's in time! Jamie Carroll is out at first base. Fielder just did get a swipe on his hand. The Brewers snuff out a stolen base, get the out anyway at first. Baseball's commissioner and former Brewers owner outside Miller Park. And then a ball game with the Dodgers, a series that began with a Matt Kemp 2-run homer in the second inning. The Brewers answer in the bottom of the second. Casey McGee, with his 83rd RBI of the season, puts the Brewers on the board. 2-1 Los Angeles. By the way, Casey McGee leads all of baseball in RBIs for the month of August. That was his 25th. And only Albert Pujols and Joey Votto with more runs batted in than McGee for the season. So his dream season continues in his follow-up. Braun and Fielder to start it here in the fourth inning. Then McGee with Ted Lilly on the mound for the Dodgers. Having given up just 2 hits, they came back-to-back in that second inning. Mark Atanasio will join us in the fifth inning tonight. We'll get his thoughts on the day's proceedings. We also want to send out our best and congratulations to Tom Olson and his crew. They did a terrific job putting the program together as well, and all the great food. And congratulate Tom and his crew. It took a lot of people to pull off the event today of the magnitude that we saw outside Miller Park this afternoon.
Everybody in the front office, a lot of people involved in many days, weeks in advance, and went off without a hit. It's a top-notch event.
Well, let's check in with Telly Hughes, who has a special guest. Telly?
All right, Cecil, just tell us a little bit about being a part of that ceremony and how special it was to honor a guy that has meant so much to this city.
Well, it was just an outstanding ceremony, first of all, and I thought it was terrific that, the organization decided to pay tribute to Bud and to, make a statue for him. I mean, he's just been outstanding for this city, for the game of baseball. And, I mean, the man loves baseball. That's his passion. He's just a true baseball fan, and he's worked so hard for the game, and I think he's done a lot of wonderful works for the game, and I was just happy that he invited me to come back and to be a part of it, and it was a lot of fun today. I was really happy to see that, and we looked around, there were, I think, almost every major league club was represented today, so just shows you what kind of guy he is and how the baseball industry respects him.
What will his legacy think in the game of baseball will be? I mean, not just as a commissioner, but the guy that pioneered baseball back in Milwaukee.
Well, I mean, it's just going to let people know that this guy loved the game, first of all. And, baseball is a game. We call it a kid's game. And most everyone, at some fashion or another, has played the game. And his love for it, it's just amazing how he was able to rally the troops here, so to speak, back in the 60s to get baseball back here. And then, to really continue the winning tradition when the Braves had here by making the Brewers an outstanding organization and enabling us to get to the World Series. And so it's just good, I think, for the organization to be able to pay that tribute to him today.
Telly Hughes with Cecil Cooper. Great to see Cecil Cooper. Long-time Brewer employee in a lot of different roles with the Milwaukee Brewers under Bud Selig. Of course, most recently the manager of the Houston Astros.
Yes, Cecil's worn just about every hat you can wear in baseball. Minor league director. He was an assistant general manager. He's been an agent. He's been a scout. He managed in the minor leagues, now managed in the big leagues with the Astros. He's done it all. He really has.
Casey McGee batting with 2 away. Braun and Fielder both retired on groundouts. McGee driving in a run in the second on a triple, his first triple of the season, only his second of his career. Now, Robin Yount designed this ballpark, or helped design some of the outfield dimensions with the triple in mind, and I'm not sure he had Casey McGee exactly in mind when he did it, but nonetheless, McGee with his first triple of the season.
A triples ballpark is a triples ballpark for everybody. You never know what can happen.
McGee hit one high off the angled wall in center field. It caromed away from Kemp. That one's driven in the gap right center. And it's going to go to the wall. Casey McGee getting at his wind sprints today. He's in with a double. So he's got the 2 hard ones out of the way. He's got a homer and a single left for the cycle.
How about Casey McGee tomahawking a high fastball again? 89 miles an hour on the fastball. And nobody on the Brewers, and maybe in baseball, is able to go on top of a high fastball like Casey McGee. Check this out. I mean, that ball is letter high. To see the way he keeps the hands up, they don't drop. They start up high. They stay there. The bat goes back, and he's able to center on a high fastball, unlike many guys can. I mean, most hitters are lucky just to foul that pitch off up there, but Casey able to drive it the other way.
We had a chat earlier today with Paul Molitor, and he comes to mind when you think about guys able to get on top of a high fastball, and McGee certainly has that skill.
Yeah, he's something else. Not many can do it.
So it's a 2-out double. The tying run is at second. And here's Lorenzo Cain.
Of course, you don't get to the Hall of Fame by being one-dimensional in the strike zone. I mean, Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, Hammer and Hank. I mean, all those guys. Hall of Famers can hit anything. Tough to compare yourself to those guys.
Hank Aaron handled the fastball pretty well, you're saying?
Yeah. Front foot hitter. Like Roberto Clemente. Unlike Lorenzo Cain, who is a big-time backlegger, right?
I was just thinking that.
Thinking with you.
The back leg special. Now, Cain struck out his last time up. Gomez is on deck. Ted Lilly, a wise veteran on the mound. He can be tough on a young hitter. He just missed. Tried to backdoor a breaking ball. Cain ahead in the count, 3-1.
Yeah, the cut fastball just missed the outside corner. Tough pitch to try and backdoor, but very close. It's been a rather tight strike zone for Mike Everett tonight.
Cain draws a walk. That's a good at-bat by Lorenzo Cain. The inning extends here in the fourth. And again, our AT&T trivia tonight. Who are the 2 players in Brewers franchise history to have stolen 70 or more bases in a season? And one of them is a newly acquired Dodger, Scott Pasednik, now a member of the Dodgers. He stole 70 in 2004. Tommy Harper, as a member of the Seattle Pilots in 1969, still part of the Brewers franchise history of the Pilots.
Yeah, Pasednik had 30 stolen bases this year over in the American League with the White Sox. He's got 1 with the Dodgers.
Gomez, a base stealer, trying to play the role of run producer here in the fourth. 2 on with 2 out. First and second for the Brew Crew. Tommy Harper and Scott Pasednik kind of connect 2 moments in franchise history. Harper, of course, was on that original Brewers team in 1970, and Pasednik stole those 70 bases here inside Miller Park, from County Stadium to Miller Park. Matter of fact, Tommy Harper was an all-star for the 1970 Milwaukee Brewers. He was an all-star on that original ball club. Quick trip to the mound for Rod Barajas. The 1970 Brewers, 65 and 97, and it just didn't matter. Managed by Dave Bristol, because they were back in Milwaukee. Baseball was back. Tommy Lasorda looking excited as always.
Long day for Tommy, apparently.
He's just thinking right now. He's breathing through his eyelids. A swing and a miss. Lilly strikes out Gomez, and the side retired. Crowd on hand to see the Brewers and the Dodgers. And we are pleased to be joined now by Mark Atanasio, the Brewers owner. And I think the common phrase today that Mark has had is you put on some kind of party. That was some kind of party today for Commissioner Seelig. Well done.
Well, Commissioner got an unbelievable turnout of people between Major League owners, former Hall of Famers. Even, you see Al Kaline showed up.
That's right.
Not quite unannounced, but unexpected.
How did it all start? I mean, what got this thing going, and how did it get to the point where it was today? That was quite an event, an orchestra, and all the dignitaries. And walk us through that whole process.
Well, we've wanted to do a statue for Commissioner Seelig for years, and for years they've been saying, no, we don't need to do that. So I think we finally wore them down. And, including Sue was not that comfortable with all of this, and we'll make sure she was comfortable. And frankly, this artist did such a good job when they saw the likeness we came up with the, for his face. They were very happy with it, and that allowed us to get the ball rolling.
It does look great, and it's one of those moments. There have been some great moments here in Miller Park. Obviously, the opening of the stadium itself. President Bush threw out the first pitch, and the playoff moment that Bud Selig referenced here just a moment ago is a proud moment for him. But I would say this has to kind of go on your ledger as well as one of the great moments in Miller Park history. It seemed like the center of the baseball universe today for about 3 hours.
Yeah, there were a lot of baseball dignitaries and mucky mucks there. I would say, and it's interesting because in the press conference, the commissioner said one of his proudest moments was the day he bought the team. Mm-hmm. That would qualify for me also, the day I bought the team. The day we made the playoffs, that last day of the season.
That was hit hard off the wall in left field. And Rod Barajas going to try to stretch it to a double. He's in there with his second double of the game. Continue, Mark.
And today. So, this is our sixth season and probably one of the top 3 times in, 6 years.
Wow.
What is what are you and the organization looking to accomplish from this point forward? I know everybody wants to get to 500 as far as the team goes, but beyond that, I mean, what are you looking to accomplish the rest of the way? 500,
we're not in it to just be a 500 team. So that we were there in 2005. So it'd be nice if we get to 500, but that's not really what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a look at some of these young guys like Lorenzo Cain, see who's going to be part of our plans for next year. I think we've got as good a young team, position by position, as anybody in baseball, and we, frankly, relative to the position players, have fewer holes than many teams.
Right.
Challenge we all know, is with our pitching, and we're going to have to figure that out this offseason.
it'll be a big offseason indeed for the Brewers. And Mark Atanasio joining us here as Ted Lilly is barking at Mike Everett a little bit, saying he did not foul that pitch. Everett said he did, which means Barajas has to stay put at second base. See if we can get another look at this.
And it looked like it could have. It might have been a called strike for that matter. And it looked like a pretty good pitch, but he does call a foul ball, and a foul ball at that.
So Barajas stays put. So it's an 0-1 count on Lilly with a runner at second base. I thought it was interesting the contrast. Bud Selig, we were just talking about this a moment ago. When he was owner, he liked to sit up top, kind of in the catbird seat. He liked to have the eye in the sky view, where you've chosen to sit down low and right next to the dugout, kind of right in the middle of the action.
I guess we both ended up where our players could see us both. Where Robin Yat was saying, you could see Bud pace, and the more he was pacing, the angrier he knew he was. Yeah. And I'm just sitting right there. Kind of hard to miss up front. So we each have our own styles.
Yeah, you guys got a new scoreboard coming in next year?
Yeah, and I hope not to see Matt Kemp dent it like he did tonight with that ball that's sticking under the sixth inning thing there. But you're very excited about.
As Lilly gets the bunt down, fielder going to third, and they got him dead to rights. Barajas does not run well, and fielder made the play to get the lead out at third base.
Barajas does not run well, and I don't mean to steal your thunder here, Rock, but Prince has been, really throwing well from first base this year.
Mark, you can analyze anything you want.
Would you like to use the telestrator?
I keep telling my mom, who watches every game, that I'm going to put her up here and have her do the color for a half an inning with you, Brian, and just have Rock give her some pointers.
Just kind of hang out.
That would be
great. In the shadows.
Connie Atanasio.
I'll teach you how to do the telestrator. That's one of the reasons why, Mark, in that situation, you bunt the ball to third base.
That's a good point. You see, now that I would not have made the point, but this is why we can get some pointers from an expert.
Well, Ryan Terrio at the plate. 2-1, the Dodgers lead the Brewers. Well, tell us your
one of the things I just want to mention, Brian, before we get to that with the new scoreboard next year, we've really tried every year to put more money back into the ballpark, and it was really brought home to me today how much blood, sweat, and tears went into Commissioner Selig's daughter, Wendy, and the whole team. Henry Aaron was saying he went up to see the legislators a bunch of times. Robin Yount went up. Bob Uecker went up. And, they were told no, I think it sounded like, a half a dozen times, and just kept pushing. And so it's our responsibility to continue to, preserve this asset. And I'm delighted next year we'll bring in a scoreboard, which I think will be very exciting for the fans to see.
And you've made a lot of upgrades, updating of the ballpark since you took over the team as well, and that continues to be at the front of the Brewers franchise list as far as the front office and advancing the fan experience here, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. You want to have a winning team, certainly, and but to be able to come here and to even have a major league team to come watch in Milwaukee, it rang true today watching Bud Selig.
Well, it made you think, here we play in the Los Angeles Dodgers, and, I live out there, and there's something like 8 million people there, and they're traveling in Milwaukee where we got like 600,000 people, and we're playing, and it's 2-1 right now, and we actually have comparable payrolls this year, and all that is a testament to what Bud Selig has been able to do in terms of getting this ballpark built, getting revenue sharing in, so that a team like ours could, actually play on a level playing field. And none of that would have been the case without him.
Do you get a chance to talk to Bud from time to time? I know he has offices here, and are there any issues you ever run by Bud from time to time?
Well, I probably talk to Commissioner 2 or 3 times a week.
Lorenzo Cain eases back, makes a catch for out number 2. And Lilly has to retreat.
And then every now and then he'll pick up the phone and call me. And that'll be on everything from when are you going to get a starting pitcher to Yeah,
I like your honesty.
The business of baseball.
He is a fan. I'll tell you. He watches, and he says he watches, and he may be the commissioner of baseball, but he is a Brewer at heart. And
he's absolutely a Brewer. He's completely impartial. Chris Schlesinger and I sometimes think it's kind of like the kid whose father is coaching him and is going to show everybody how hard he can be on the kid.
Right.
Every now and then we feel like we're picked on a little bit, but he's actually a very, very astute observer of what's going on with our team, and I think with several of the teams, and he makes a lot of observations that are right on point.
And he made a great compliment to you and your ownership group as well, talking about being stewards of this franchise. And I know in the beginning days of the franchise, I think because of the past history here in Milwaukee, the first thought might be, well, here's this owner, he might want to move this team. I think there was a lot of discussion fears
about that.
are warranted.
Sure. Well, sure, and obviously once you actually have the team, well, then who knows what you would do. But in our case, that was never the plan. This is such a wonderful baseball community, which I knew from the diligence I had done. I will say I'm very pleasantly surprised about 3 million fans, but I'm not surprised this team draws well. And this park is a huge asset for us. And I think what the fans just wanted to see was a competitive product out in the field, and that's what we are going to continue to deliver to them. So I was amused this year when everybody thought we would be sellers at the trade deadline. Why would you do that? We got to compete next year, so we're not going to give up any assets just because things weren't going this year quite the way we wanted. And I'm very encouraged to look at the team out there. Just it feels like we're just like 1 or 2 turns away from getting it right.
Mark Atanasio joins us here. One of the endearing moments of this ballpark is the All-Star Game of 2002. Of course, it lives in infamy because of the tie.
Right.
Have you considered that? Is that something that's on your plate to maybe try to get an All-Star Game back at Miller Park?
Well, that's in the hands of Major League Baseball, and I think these things run. We just had a game out in Anaheim, and I had been at the All-Star Game in Anaheim in 1986 or 1987. So that's kind of the life. It's like as much as Halley's Comet comes around, right. you get an All-Star Game. So I don't know that we'd love to host another All-Star Game, but I don't think we'd be on the docket anytime soon.
Okay. Rather have a playoff game than an All-Star game.
Right? Yes, well, we would take that any day. and that's Doug Melvin's and my main focus.
What impresses you the most about Bud Selig's tenure, especially with your time as owner of the Brewers? What impresses you the most about what he's been able to accomplish?
Well, I think when you take 30 egos, the way and I used to think I had a small ego till I got in the seat here, and then you realize, well, maybe not so small. And he is a master at getting 30 strong-willed people to move in the same direction. And virtually every one of our votes at the owners' meetings is 30-0, or very occasionally 29-1 or something. And that's because Commissioner is tireless behind the scenes, working with clubs so that everyone can get comfortable and understand where we are in a given issue before we get into the room and have to take a vote. And he does a lot of that stuff personally. He doesn't, he does delegate a few things to Rod Manford or to Bob Dupay, but really a lot of that work is done by himself. He really rolls up his sleeves.
Hands-on approach, just like he had as an owner here, and able to get baseball back in Milwaukee in the first place, back in the 60s even.
Got to be able to build consensus in order to do that. All the things that he's done, as commissioner, and getting this ballpark. I mean, dealing with politicians. Has he given you any indication as to how long he wants to stick it out?
Well, he talks, as he talked today, he talks about writing his memoirs and things, but it is true. None of the owners want to see him go. We'd all love to see him stay on. It's hard to imagine. Honestly, it's hard to imagine the game without him. So I think he gets a lot of pressure from other owners to stay and to extend. And, her credit, Sue Seelig, who's very quietly strong behind him, knows that this is good for him. It keeps him young. And she encourages him to continue working. I think a lot of spouses might be saying, come on, haven't you had enough? Sue doesn't do that. And it's a testament to her how supportive she is of him.
He loves every minute of it, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. No, he loves his job. And he is, you can get Commissioner on the phone. Up until the moment he goes to bed, you get him on the phone. And first thing in the morning, he usually does his exercise bike or whatnot. But as soon as he's off that exercise bike, and wherever he's traveling, as soon as he lands, he calls you within an hour of landing. So it's really extraordinary what he's able to do. The energy. I wish all those guys, by the way, Commissioner Senator Cole was here today. Lou Wolf was an owner who was also in their fraternity at University of Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. I know what they had in the water there. Shel Lubar, I think, was in our ownership group, was in that.
Pretty powerful group.
Pretty powerful group. And these guys have more energy in their 70s than I got in my early 50s.
It's so interesting
Honestly.
to hear stories that these guys have of, not stories from business relationships, but stories from when they were in college, and even with Senator Cole back to their Sandlot days. It's sixth grade. You're hearing stories.
The ringer pitcher.
It was amazing to hear that today. It's quite a scene. Visiting with Mark Atanasio, Brewers owner, and talking about the day's events, unveiling of the statue of Bud Selig. Of course, Bob Uecker emceed the ceremony, and for some reason, you ended up behind Bob Uecker in the run of show. How does that keep happening to you?
I didn't. I waited too long to look at the program. So once I saw it was too late to change it, and I said at the start of my speech that speaking behind Bob Uecker is like hitting in front of the pitcher. It's the least desirable spot in the order.
Hitting
right?
He was on the top of his game today, Uecker, wasn't he? He's amazing. Amazing man.
Tell us when we might move forward with plans for a Bob Uecker statue.
Well, I had a couple of reporters probing who the next statue would be of, and you like that? Bring him up.
There's a strike called. All right, we're going to keep him over the break. We'll have him answer the Bob Uecker statue question. Then we'll let him go. I know a lot of people are asking for it. With Mark Atanasio will stay, and we'll get an answer to that very important question when we continue. Is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by GMC. We are professional grade. Under the lights of Miller Park, Milwaukee. 2-1 the Dodgers lead the Brewers. And Milwaukee coming to bat. Jonathan Lucroy will lead off. Mark Atanasio is with us. We gave you the ultimate tease. We asked him a question with 2 outs and 2 strikes, and then Manny Ramirez struck out to end the inning. But a lot of Brewers fans would like to know about the potential of a Bob Uecker statue, perhaps. And your answer is?
Well, it's a multi-part response to that simple question. And obviously, if you think about who might be next in line for something like that, Uecker would probably at the top of the list.
Okay.
It was all we could do to get Uecker to agree to the 50-year celebration that we did for him. And also the thing about these statues, and Uke obviously has got the stature you would think about, but stature for a statue. But we don't want to have 20 statues out there. So we had Yount and Henry Aaron, and now they had Commissioner as a third. That's a nice trio, and I have to say I don't want to you could be a great idea, but I don't want him screaming at me after the game. What the hell are you talking about?
That's right.
I don't want some.
It'll be a lot like the conversation you had with him when you told him that he wasn't allowed to go on the air after his heart surgery.
He kind of disregarded that and went right, and I said, why don't you just do the home games? That went out the window.
Right.
And honestly, it took us several months to get him to agree to the 50-year memorial for him, because he just, also is very self-effacing and just wants to come in, do his job every day, do a good job, and go home. Much the same way Commissioner was talking about his work ethic, that he likes to come in, do his job. A good day for him is when he comes in, gets a hard day's work in, and goes home without a lot of fanfare. I admire that in both of them.
It's amazing listening to Uke. We have an occasional off day here on television. Listening to Uke, has not lost a step. I mean, he's been through a lot. I mean, he had a rough winter, and he went through the surgery this spring, and it's amazing how the guy just bounces right back, and you'd never know he's been through all that.
I've been in the car a lot in California lately, and the highway patrol doesn't favor it when you have video on when you're trying to drive, because now on the Apple iPad I can watch you guys and watch the game. So I've been listening to Uke a lot, and no, he hasn't. In fact, quite the opposite. I think probably as a result of the heart surgery, he has more energy. His broadcasts are more lively, and we really missed him.
That's got a chance to go. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone!
Speaking of which,
a home run for Ricky Weeks, and we're tied at 2.
So since Brian put you on the spot about the statue, I'm going to put you on the spot about Ricky Weeks. I mean, there's some talk about maybe getting Ricky, locked down for a while. Is that something on the list?
Oh, it's definitely on the list. Doug Melvin has talked about that, and spoken of the fact that he had several conversations with Ricky's agent, Lon Babby. Listen to the crack of that bat, bro.
Yeah, it just sounds different coming off his bat. You watched him take BP, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. But Ricky Weeks, obviously having the best year of his career, able to stay healthy. And he's just a different guy out there.
Well, he's been maturing, on a very straight path. And, don't forget, this guy was the number 2 pick in the entire draft. And was playing, a little bit of a challenging position at second base. It wasn't like just parking himself, out in the outfield somewhere. He had a lot to absorb, and then deal every year with, these persistent injuries, which were almost freakish to have the 2 injuries with each wrist the way he did. But for us, as much as performance, we look at Ricky's character. He may be the toughest guy on the team. He got hit in the face with that pitch last year, and he stayed in the game.
Yeah,
unbelievable. And so, I think as a character matter as well, he's the kind of guy we'd want to have. And Doug Melvin was in several conversations with his agent, Lon Babby, and next thing you know, Lon took the job as the director of basketball operations for the Phoenix Suns. Right. So Ricky's in the process of then looking for another agent. I'd heard that he may have chosen one today, but I didn't have that confirmed, so I don't want to speak out of school. But as soon as he is able to get settled down with whoever his new agent is, and they're ready to talk, we'll want to talk to them whenever that is.
And any change, any movement on Prince Fielder at this point? Your thoughts about Prince and where we're headed with him and his enormous contract that's coming up because of the numbers he's been able to put up here in Milwaukee.
Well, Doug Melvin and Scott Boras, agreed that we were going to table those conversations this season until the off season. So all of that will get picked up again in the off season. And this is where the internet doesn't really serve anybody, because everybody in America had us trading Prince at midseason. You see that didn't happen. And we'll just see what happens when Doug and Scott get together and talk this winter.
Got a rally going here. Braun down the line, and the speedy Escobar around third. And he will score without a throw. The Brewers take the lead on a Braun double.
I tell you, he's back. I mean, Ryan had a couple of, maybe about 6 weeks that were not the usual Ryan Braun type performances, but he's really, Mark, right now staying on the baseball and hitting it hard.
I saw one of your graphics down in the seats that he's batting over 400 in August, and Ryan's had a little bit of bad luck this year. Two times he was getting rolling this year. On hot streaks, he had a little bit of an injury, and so once he was hit by a pitch, and I guess he had that weird thing going around first base with his wrist. So, Ryan Braun's going to hit. So, and this guy's going to hit too, by the way, Prince Fielder.
See what he does here. Got a chance to add to the lead. Fielder singled and scored in the second. He scored all the way from first on McGee's triple. And he's 1 for 2 tonight. 3-2 Milwaukee. They scored twice here in the fifth to take the lead over the Dodgers. And still at work. And Fielder pulls one foul. Ooh. Just missed the line. Ooh. Close call over at first base.
Yeah, Ted Lilly with one of those cut fastballs that a little bit more out over the plate than he would have liked, and Prince just a little bit out in front. Ted Lilly's been throwing the baseball well for the Dodgers. Brewers have been able to get to him tonight. 4-0 with a 1.29 ERA for the Dodgers in 4 starts.
He's given up 3 straight hits to the Crew, a home run, a single, and a double. And the 0-2 to Prince, a bouncer into the shift. Jamie Carroll, who had makes the play on the side, is retired. Mark Atanasio, 2 runs on the board. You have given the Brewers the lead. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much, guys. With this hitting, I don't want to leave, but I am going to leave.
You can stay as long as you want.
Okay, great.
He's the boss.
Thanks.
You've done a great show today as well.
Thank you, Brian.
Miller Park, top of the 6th, where the Brewers have a 3-2 lead. Another Hall of Famer in the house, of course, Tommy Lasorda, and of course your good friend Bud Selig was honored today with the statue. What has he meant to the city of Milwaukee as well as baseball?
Well, he's meant a lot to this city. He's brought a lot of different situations, and everybody knows where Milwaukee is because of the commissioner, number one. Number two, what he's done for baseball has been fantastic. He come in with the wild card. People didn't like it at first. Now they realize what a great thing it was. He comes in and he says, where you have sharing money with the lower clubs who are not drawing, giving them some money that they can get other ball players and bring themselves up. See, what we need in this game of ours in baseball is we need parity. We need to get everybody who can go to spring training and say, we got a chance to win it. That's what we need in baseball, and he's done everything he could to make that happen, because you see, now the teams that normally win are winning. So he's been great for baseball, but more important, he's done things that are going to be so much greater as the years goes by. He talked about interlink play. Nobody liked it at first, and now everybody loves it. So he's worked hard as the commissioner, and I'll tell you something else. He's quite a guy, and I really have a lot of respect for him. He's a great friend of mine, and I think he's just a super guy. You know, when they played the All-Star game before, they used up all the players. They had to call the game off. You don't call an All-Star game off because of tie. It's either a win or lose. So he made sure that they would play the game to win. So that's why he put the team that wins the All-Star game gets the home field advantage. And that's played a really great part in the game, the All-Star games now being played, because now they got something to shoot for, and they'll do that in a hard way.
Thank you for your time, Tommy. I really appreciate it.
It's always good to be here in Milwaukee. I love it here. And I want to say hello to my good friend, Mark Antonaccio, who I think is great. I don't like him because he's Italian. I like him because I'm Italian.
There you have it. And right on cue. Just had Mark Antonaccio in our booth, and now a shout-out. Brian, listen it back up to you.
All right. Thanks, Telly. Tommy Lasorda. One of the great characters of the game. Every time I think about Tommy Lasorda, I think about the baseball bunch. He was the genie on the baseball bunch.
Bleeds Dodger blue. That's what he says. Remember the All-Star game? He got hit with the line drive.
Hit with a bat.
Hit with the bat,
yeah,
right? Fell down. That was one of the
Seattle, right?
Great moments.
Third base coach.
I think so.
Well, Tommy's probably considering a comeback to the managerial seat if Joe Torre should leave, knowing Tommy Lasorda. Every time I hear Tommy Lasorda talk, especially when he starts pointing, I have those memories of one of the greatest sound bites of all time. What do I think of Dave Kingman's performance?
After he hit a bunch of home runs, right?
Kingman.
A few bleeps in there from time to time. Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game, and I'm sure Tommy Lasorda would agree. Varley and Hops Pub in Oshkosh, if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year, or an April or May game in 2011. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
3-2, the Brewers have the lead. Dave Bush getting some help from his offense. And the Crew with 2 runs in the 5th inning. A home run by Ricky Weeks, and then Braun doubled home Alcides Escobar. And just like that, Bush has the lead on the Dodgers, pitching in his 6th inning. He's only given up the 2 runs, and that came on one swing of the bat from Matt Kemp. As Belliard, the former Brewer, lines one to left, a base hit.
So we've had the commissioner, the owner. Who's next? We get the governor in here?
Cecil Cooper was on with us today.
Yeah, we've been lucky today.
Brewers Live pregame, we had Paul Molitor, Bob Uecker joined us, and Robin Yount.
Yeah. It's been a great day.
Yeah, it has. And it really makes you think about how important baseball is across the country, with Milwaukee as the centerpiece. You think about the commissioner of baseball. Hank Aaron has such great passion for baseball fans here in Milwaukee. He got his professional baseball start here, at least in affiliated ball in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's great to see all the players, and I get to see most of them throughout the year, whether it be around the ballparks or in fantasy camp. But 3 guys I hadn't seen in a while. Sal Bando was there today.
Mm-hmm.
Good to talk to Captain Sal. Pete Vukovich, who's an advanced scout with the Pirates. He's always a treat to talk to. And Teddy Higuera, who I say all the time, people ask me who the best overall pitcher was. that I caught in their prime, Teddy Higuera was the guy. That guy was something else when he was healthy.
It was interesting looking up at the stage with all the players, and there was Raleigh Fingers sitting next to Trevor Hoffman.
Right.
Which is something to see. As Jamie Carroll comes up with his second hit. And 2 on with 2 out. The speech of the day probably goes to Hank Aaron. And here's a lot of what that sounded like today outside Miller Park.
Bud Selig is my hero. He has taken baseball to a far better place than when he found it. And I have no doubt that he will leave baseball signed with honor and integrity, and is enduring for the love of the game. Congratulations, Bud Selig.
When Henry speaks, people listen, and it was great to see Hank Aaron. He joined us on our Brewers Live pregame show today, and he's battling a bit of a foot injury, so he's not able to get around as quickly as he'd like. But boy, to see Henry Aaron on stage, to see Rachel Robinson, the widow of Jackie Robinson, in the front row down below, it was quite a moment today. Well, Bush trying to navigate his way through this inning. Got the first 2 out quickly. Then back-to-back hits, and now it's Rod Barajas, who has doubled twice against Bush.
Yeah, he's been the toughest out today for Dave Bush. Double barrel action down in that bullpen already in the 6th inning. You don't usually see that until the 7th and 8th.
Barajas has home run power. You got to be careful to this guy. Right off the end of the bat, that is slicing foul. He just missed the line. It's very similar to his first hit back in the 2nd inning when he just cued one for a double down the right field line.
Yep, you've got Chris Capuano, you got Andre Ethier. He's coming up 3 batters away, but then you get Coffey because the Dodgers may pinch hit for Ted Lilly if this inning continues. That's why you get Coffey up. The pitcher spot, and then Terrio. You got to look ahead when you're getting your bullpen prepared, and Coffey getting ready in a hurry.
First and second for the Dodgers. They have a tying run in scoring position now in Ronnie Belliard. Cut fastball from Bush. And a ball and a strike on Barajas.
Yeah, Mike Everett hasn't given either pitcher much on the corners tonight.
The Dodgers are getting some production from the bottom of their order. Between Carroll and Barajas, 4 hits in 5 tries. Yeah, he couldn't hold up. He went right back to it. Bush even takes a little more off, and Barajas is down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yep, good curve ball, and Barajas couldn't hold up. That was a pitch that he almost cued over Prince's head this at bat. That curveball a little bit up in his zone. That one in a good spot.
Big pitch for Dave Bush. Pitch number 105 of the game. Could be his last. Trying to strand a couple of Dodgers. And an anxious manager in the dugout who can't bear to watch. See what he has in mind here. 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. And Barajas hits one high and deep left center field. And there it goes. Rod Barajas, a 3-run home run. And the Dodgers are back on top. His 3rd hit of the game and his best day as a Dodger. He belts his 13th of the season.
Well, Dave Bush able to navigate through this lineup fairly well since the second inning, except for Barajas, of all people. I mean, of the hitters that you fear in this lineup, this is the last guy you talk about. And he got a hold of that one and way out of here. Second home run for the Dodgers. And they take a 2-run lead. 2 outs, nobody on, and 3 consecutive hits, including this one.
And that look tells it all. It also allows Ted Lilly to bat in this inning now that he's pitching with a lead. It looked like Torrey was going to be content to pinch hit for Lilly. Inning is over. A damaging blow from Rod Barajas. What a day he's having. 3 hits, a 3-run homer gives the Dodgers a 5-3 lead. By Matt Kemp that got the scoring started today. Casey McGee answered with an RBI triple in the second inning, scoring Prince Fielder. Then Ricky Weeks started a rally in the 5th, a 2-out rally. Weeks homered, then Escobar singled, and then Ryan Braun drove in Alcides Escobar. And at the time, the Brewers had a 3-2 lead. That was erased. Rod Barajas with 2 outs, a 3-run home run to deep left center. And now it's Los Angeles back on top, and Barajas with a 3-hit game. Casey McGee will lead off for Milwaukee at the plate, presented by Wendy's. McGee with a triple and a double and an RBI that gives him 83 for the year. Only Pujols and Votto with more runs batted in the National League. And McGee hits one to center field. Backing up is Kemp. And that's over his head. It's off the base of the wall. And Casey McGee continues to swing a red-hot bat. That's his 3rd hit and his 2nd double. And just like that, the Brewers are in business in the 6th.
Casey's just been dialed in lately. I mean, hitting everything. That high fastball once again. You see the way he pops the hips open and keeps the hands close to the body. That allows him to get the barrel of the bat on it and just hits a rocket over the head of Matt Kemp. And Casey McGee having a heck of a night.
So back-to-back doubles for McGee. See Corey Hart with a bat in his hands, stretching out for a possible pinch hit appearance. It could come this inning. Pitcher spot is now due up 4th. Lorenzo Cain walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. He's still looking for his first major league home run. Was not a big home run hitter in the minor leagues, but many project Lorenzo Cain to evolve into a home run hitter in the big leagues.
Give him some time. Maybe fill that body out a little bit. A little bit of muscle. A little bit more muscle anyway, and He'll start hitting some home runs. He's just that kind of player. Sometimes power comes late to some hitters.
Our text question tonight, courtesy of Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. From Marie and Mequon, do the starting pitcher and catcher of the game study together before that day's game? Not like your typical study hall setting, but they do go over the game plan together, usually with a pitching coach.
Yeah, it is a lot more complex. We were talking about that in the luncheon today with a bunch of the players from the old days, and talking about scouting reports and the old scouting report meetings that we used to have. Everybody sitting on the floor, and George Brett, up and away, down and in, up and away, something like that. Down and away, up and in. Cal Ripken, curveballs in the dirt. I mean, now these scouting reports are
count by count.
Very complex, and sometimes I think they may be a little bit too complex. It takes a little bit of the spontaneity out of the game. I'd love to see Pete Vukovich in one of those meetings. Vuki.
Up and in, down and away. That's a pretty good bet for anyone as a starting point.
Work him away, see what he does with that, and then adjust from there.
Kane in the left center field. Matt Kemp is ranging over. McGee's going to tag. And Kane makes a catch. Here comes Casey. The throw coming in. And McGee is safe. Boy, that is a heads-up base-running move by Casey McGee. He gets to third base with just one out, and he challenges the Gold Glove center fielder for the Dodgers.
Well, you got to make sure you make it. That's for sure. When you do that, at second base, you're ready in scoring position. You'd love to be able to get to third with less than two, or a ground ball, fly ball that gets you a run, but you don't want to get thrown out at third base. The one risk, that's the one situation where you might take a risk. You get there with one out.
Now Gomez. Gomez in his return to the lineup. Carlos went on the disabled list with a concussion on the 13th of August. Went down for a rehab assignment in AAA Nashville, and at 28 at-bats down there, had 8 hits. And that one's popped up. Loney hauls it in, out number 2. Well, Bud Selig acquired the Brewers back in 1970. Now the commissioner of baseball today. The Brewers dedicated a bronze statue of Commissioner Selig at Miller Park. You can log on to foxsportswisconsin.com for coverage of the statue unveiling, and you can hear from Commissioner Selig as well as former players and dignitaries. There's the statue.
Nice likeness. Looks like him.
Bud Selig said in his press conference today that given the guy didn't have much to work with, considering I've never been confused with Clark Gable, I thought he did a masterful job. They asked Robin Yount about the statue, and was that a familiar pose? Bud Selig standing there with a baseball in his hand. He said, no, actually it would have been better if you put him in the barber's chair with a hot dog.
Every day, at least one. He's been healthy every day. You can't accuse Bud of being uppity.
Not by any stretch.
Hot dog for lunch.
No truth to the rumor that it goes with peanuts and Cracker Jacks with that hot dog. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
For posterity's sake.
For a guy that, says that he doesn't like to speak in front of a crowd, Robin Yount does a pretty good job up there.
I agree.
I don't think he can say that anymore. Maybe back in his early days. Robin does a bang-up job in front of that microphone. Of course, being a Hall of Famer, I'm sure he gets a lot of opportunities.
He's not going to be able to play the all shucks card too much longer, I don't think. Especially if he keeps delivering great speeches.
He's good. Very good.
Lucroy, oh, it's caught by Theriot. Well, Lucroy gave it a ride, a line drive right at Theriot, but the inning comes to an end. The Brewers cannot deliver on a leadoff double. We head to the 7th. Dodgers still lead. Taste greatness. And by Toyota. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. Game 1 of the series with the Dodgers, and we continue tomorrow on Fox Sports Wisconsin. 6:30 is airtime in our Miller Lite What's on Tap. You can catch the Brewers and the Dodgers Thursday on Brewers Radio, and then we're back on television, Fox Sports Wisconsin, Friday against the Pirates.
Now let's check out our Haynes comfort zone. The Brewers' entire bullpen is in that zone right now over the past 3 games. The pen has appeared in 14 2/3 innings, during which they on a 1.23 earned run average, 21 strikeouts, and an opponent batting average of only 122. So good job by Stan Kyle's Brewers bullpen lately.
And speaking of bullpens, Chris Capuano takes over for Milwaukee here. Dave Bush goes 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned. And one big swing of the bat did him in. Rod Barajas, a 3-run homer in the 6th with 2 outs. So the Brewers play from behind as we move to the late innings. And top of the order, Ryan Theriot facing Capuano. Capuano was outstanding in his last time out for the Brew Crew. Picked up a win, his first Miller Park win since 2007, as you take a look at the final numbers for Dave Bush.
A couple of home runs did him in, responsible for all the runs. And it was Rod Barajas, 3 for 3 off of Bush, 2 doubles and a homer. Who would have thunk it? Number 8 hitter. Yeah, you're right. Cappy was tremendous. 3 2/3 innings against the Padres. He picked up the win. Came in with the bases loaded and 1 out and did not allow a run. So Cappy and the rest of the bullpen that night, outstanding.
Let's take you back to Friday night. Chris Capuano against the division-leading Padres. And it was a short start from Gallardo. He just went 3 1/3, and then Capuano came on. He settled the entire game down. Changed the complexion of the ball game. 3 2/3 of shutout baseball. And his first win at Miller Park since May 7th of 2007. And Capuano strikes out Ryan Theriot to start this 7th inning.
And that's what he did in that outing. I mean, everything right on the corners. The changeup was a good pitch. He kept it down, and he got the strikeouts. And there's that cut fastball, a little bit of a backdoor cutter, catching Ryan Theriot looking.
Just 40 pitches for Capuano. He faced the minimum number of batters. He faced 11 his last time out. He did issue a walk, but he immediately got a double play. And it took him only 40 pitches to get through the 11 plate appearances. Joe Torre and Don Mattingly. Speaking of great players, both.
Chris Capuano, a nice balance on the back leg. He's got that high leg kick and kind of a drop and drive guy. Stiff front leg to give him some movement. He's had the 2 Tommy John surgeries, and with a delivery like that, you'd like to see him use a little bit more of that push-off leg on the rubber. Take the pressure off that elbow.
Little slow roller. Capuano, a good fielder, and he shovels one to Prince for out number 2. Our Carsoup.com email the booth question tonight comes from Henry and Racine. Is Manny Ramirez a Hall of Famer? Boy, that is a hot button question. And I guess it all depends. His numbers are Hall of Fame worthy. There's no doubt about that, but an admitted user of performance enhancing drugs. He was caught last year. He served a 50-game suspension. And no question about the numbers, but I think we're going to be moving into an era in about 5, 6, 7 years from now where so many of these players who become eligible for the Hall of Fame are going to be subject to those who vote and how they perceive such players.
Anybody around the bases here in this game so far?
Well, they haven't, and they've had the opportunity to do so with nobody out, 1 out, with less than 2 outs. They have not been able to produce, and that has hurt the Brewers.
Well, we'll see if that changes here in this inning. And, Davey, what do we have coming up post-game-wise for our instructional on the field today?
Well, you know, we saw how Casey McGee, you heard Rock talking about Casey McGee getting on top of that high fastball. Rock is going to demonstrate on how to get on top.
Oh, you've assigned that, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right, because you know what? I couldn't get on top of that high fastball. I know Rock could.
All right, Rock, that's your guys' challenge tonight. Looking forward to it after the game.
That sounds like a pulled oblique muscle is what that sounds like.
Man.
That's putting you on the spot there, partner.
I swung at the high fastball quite a bit, but I did not make much contact on it.
I'm going to have to stick around for the instructional.
Yeah, that will be my role tonight. Davey told me what my role is.
Yep, he's in charge.
I mean, there really is no question about it.
So Joe Torre will make a pitching change here, a double switch. We will take a break. Lilly is out. He leaves with the lead.
And Bud, we never had a signed contract. And I always thought that was rather unique, even the fact that I never got paid. Now we got to find out how to pay for this thing. I don't know either. We'll pass a hat or something. And to remember the line from Rachmaninoff's Concerto in D-flat minor. I'm only doing that because you guys dropped some big words. I don't know. Herbie, Mark, prognostication, all that stuff.
That was Bob Uecker's response to Bud Selig's speech, quoting Roosevelt and many other historians and legendary figures. So Uecker had an answer for him. The new pitcher is Ronnie Belisario, and right away he's put into action as he takes care of Ricky Weeks for out number 2. Now Ricky homered back in the 5th inning, and his Powerball home run count is up to 24 with that home run. What a season he's having from the leadoff spot. That home run tied the game in the 5th. The Brewers are still within striking distance. Down 5-3 as we play with 2 outs here at the bottom of the 7th. The double switch that was made, Ronnie Belisario pitching. Scott Posednik, the former Brewer, takes over for Manny Ramirez in left. There's Scotty Pods. It's a nice pickup for the Dodgers. They may be too far out to make a run, but you can't blame them for trying. They made a couple of nice additions to their roster. They acquired Lilly and Terrio, Scott Posednik.
They have some gamers that they brought over. Yeah, looking at next year, I would imagine.
0-2 to Escobar. And with the stylish Ted Lilly, a guy who commands the strike zone, doesn't throw very hard, you get the power stuff of Ronnie Belisario.
Yeah, Belisario got off to a late start. He was on the restricted list. He had issues getting out of his native country to get over here for spring training. A hard throw with a pretty good slider. Good movement on his fastball. They call that visa issues. It finally came to me.
Got to get the visa cleared. Alcides Escobar had the same problem. He didn't miss nearly the time that Belisario did, but he was a few days late to spring training with visa problems.
Belisario didn't join the Dodgers until April 21st. That is a major visa issue.
There might be some personal accountability attached to that one.
You think?
I think. That is a fair ball and an out. Barajas smartly grabbed that baseball before it spun back into foul territory, and Escobar is out, and the inning is over. The Brewers go in order in the 7th. Clearly in
forecast. Dodgers in town tomorrow, taking on the Brewers. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Well, behind our cold front, it will be a noticeably different evening. First pitch of 70 degrees with a cool breeze from the north, sunny and pleasant.
All right, Kate, thanks. And fans, if you want the Brewers weather forecast sent right to your phone, you can text keyword forecast to short code 234234 and click on the link. I think you ought to be able to text Kate Bilo and get the forecast.
Maybe just get her number.
Because it's her forecast.
Yeah, get her number, call her up, and ask her what it's like out.
And we've been doing this all year?
Right.
She's been 100% accurate.
Right.
She's very good at her job. Todd Coffey is in the pitch. The beard continues to grow for Coffey. Chris Capuano, another impressive inning. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout, and now Coffey to face Loney, Kemp, and Belliard.
Yeah, Coffey's been pretty good. 2 innings on Sunday against the Padres. 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Hasn't allowed a run in his last 3 outings. Been good work out of that Brewers bullpen lately.
James Loney is 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the second. He was on base when Matt Kemp hit one high off the scoreboard in center field.
And the Brewers 1 short out in that bullpen for the first time since I think just about all season long. Brewers now with 5 players on their bench. I would imagine that Ken Maka feels as though things are a little bit crowded in there.
Escobar spins through. Oh, what play, Alcides Escobar. How about that play from the rookie shortstop?
Boy, almost instinctively knows exactly where first base is. Able to go out into short center field, spin around and get rid of it almost without looking at first base. Knew exactly where he was on the field. And Escobar able to get there. Boy, that's a heck of a throw. He's got a big league arm. And a very quick release. He's getting himself in position to make that throw even before the ball's in his glove. Well done.
Something special from Escobar, and it's been a season's worth of highlights from the young shortstop. Boy, what range he has. Kemp to right, slicing away from Gomez. That's in the seats.
It's all about that angle. The first step, angling back. Ricky Weeks going behind.
Well, how about this shot right here? Robin Yount earlier today talking with Escobar about the spin and throw. Man, that's great stuff. Good job by our crew grabbing that moment.
Yeah.
An MVP at the position, Robin Yount, having a chat with the young Escobar.
MVP at shortstop, MVP in center field. Not many have been able to do that.
What a resource for Escobar to be able to have that kind of conversation with Robin Yount.
Of course, you don't know. They might have been just messing around. Let me spin you around and see if you can make a throw.
Here, I see this camera's pointing at us.
See if you get dizzy.
How many crackers can you eat before you need water? That would be a Robin Yount kind of question.
And we could turn it into a very in-depth learning opportunity. Little teaching episode for Robin Yount. We can turn it into anything we want.
I don't know. I think Robin Yount was predicting that play because he has that sense. You know, Robin always had that sense to know what was going to happen in the future.
Anticipated very well and perhaps knew that Escobar was going to do this today. Of course, a shortstop does that just about every day. Then they go up the middle on a ball and spin around. Sometimes they don't throw it.
Very few actually finish it like Escobar did. Two and two to Kemp. Look out. Kemp is drilled. So Matt Kemp hit by a pitch.
No, not trying to allow him to get his arms extended. This pitch wasn't supposed to be inside, but looked like Lucroy was on the outside corner, ended up on the inside corner, got him in the ribs. Believe it or not, that's only the second or third time that Kemp has been hit by a pitch this year. Another big, strong guy that likes to get his arms extended, and only 3 times he's been hit.
Ronnie Belliard started a rally with 2 outs in the 6th inning. The first of 3 consecutive hits, the last of which was a 3-run homer by Barajas, which gave the Dodgers the current lead. Belliard singled with 2 outs in the 6th. It seemed harmless enough. Back-to-back singles from the 6th and 7th hitter in the Dodgers lineup, and then Barajas on a 2-strike pitch hits one deep to left and over the bullpen for a home run. Kemp is a stolen base threat. He has 16 steals, but he is tied for the National League lead in times caught trying to steal. He and Niger Morgan have both been caught 14 times.
That's amazing, isn't it? 16 for 30. That's terrible percentage. It's not worth the risk.
He has been in the crosshairs of Dodgers fans and even Dodgers management all season. The last time the Brewers were in Los Angeles, his general manager, Ned Colletti, actually was calling for more production and more energy from Matt Kemp.
Yep, fans were getting on him in Dodger Stadium as much as the Dodger fans will get on anybody. They're rather a passive group out there in L.A.
Well, Kemp, after his home run in the second, his next time up, he tried to bunt his way on, and it was high and tight. He actually bunted the baseball in self-defense and was put out. This time he's drilled by a Coffey fastball.
Yeah, that's the 32nd time Dodger hitters have been hit by pitches. Brewers 63. How's that possible?
The numbers don't lie.
Double them up. The Pirates have been hit by the fewest pitches. 27. Brewers had what, 27 through May?
Well, Prince Fielder has 20 on his own. He and Ricky Weeks, both in the 20s. Coffey could use a ground ball here in the 8th. And a swing and a miss. That'll work too. Belliard strikes out number 2.
Nice slider by Coffey. Coffey's back. He's throwing well. Took him a while after coming off the DL to get that pitch back, but that's a dandy.
And our U.S. Cellular text to vote question: what is the best Brewers storyline so far this year? We want to hear from you. Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, Casey McGee, or John Axford? Type the corresponding letter in a text message to 234-234, and we'll give you the results in tonight's Brewers Live postgame and the final results this weekend. 2 outs, 5-3 Dodgers. We play in the 8th. The Brewers will have Braun, Fielder, and McGee due up in the home half of the inning. A late call of time by Mike Everett. Carroll's been a tough hitter on the crew tonight. He has 2 hits, 2 for 3, a couple of singles. Kemp takes off. Throw to second is high. Kemp got a good jump and steals the base, his 17th.
Man, not a bad idea. You got a singles hitter up there at the plate. Like to get into scoring position. Kemp had a very good lead, good jump, and Coffey relatively slow to home plate.
They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't, says Andy Fletcher.
Nice slider, and does he hold up? Boy, it could have gone either way.
1 ball, 1 strike. Coffey with 2 outs. Hoping to keep the Dodgers at 5. The Brewers down 2 with 6 outs to work with. Got the meat of the order coming up in the bottom of the 8th. And there's a spinner that missed inside. 2 balls and a strike on Carroll. Carroll getting the start at short tonight. Rafael Furcal has a back injury. He's in a minor league rehab and expected back soon for the Dodgers. But in the meantime, Carroll's been playing short. Walked him. Well, the bottom of this Dodger order continues to succeed. And Carroll on base for the third time, and that's going to bring Rod Barajas to the plate, the hottest hitter in the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, guys have been on 6 times, 7 and 8 in the batting order. And Barajas has been the toughest out for the Dodgers today.
Now his home run in the 6th inning, the difference maker at this point, with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Barajas.
And that was a high cutter that just stayed right in the middle of the plate and up in the zone. Another high pitch that a hitter tonight has been able to tomahawk. Case McGee's done it a couple of times, and Barajas to give the Dodgers a lead.
Acquired Sunday from the Mets. And in his first game as a Dodger, he's making quite an impact. Barajas is from Southern California. He's from Ontario, California. Just east of Los Angeles. That's where the big airport is. Ontario.
Yeah, Mets just gave up on him. Put him on waivers. The Dodgers picked him up. And he's certainly been a big impact in this game.
Well, you can always project out a hitter over a full season, and Barajas, because he's a catcher and not in an everyday role, you project out over a 500 at-bat season. That's typically a full season. Well, Barajas has 252 at-bats. So you try to figure out how productive he's been. You just double the at-bats to get him to 500. So you double the home runs, it's a 26 homer season, and of course you double the RBIs. And you're looking at about 26 homers, 75, 76 RBIs, and that gives you an idea how productive he's been. Even though the batting average is low at 234, he's actually hit with authority when he's got the chance to play.
You know, I certainly wish they could have done that with my stats every year. Just double them. Put that on my baseball card.
It'd have been more like they have to multiply it by 5 to get to 500 at-bats. Now, Billy got 100 at-bats this season.
That'd be nice. I mean, double everything. That'd be great.
Project. See, you could have used that when you were negotiating a contract with Mr. Seelig.
That's right.
If you'd have only known.
The rule of doubling. Of course, you double a 125 batting average. It's still not very good, is it?
No, it's still 125 actually.
No, you got to double the batting average too.
well
250.
That's an average, so it would stay the same.
I'm doubling.
You're doubling everything across the board. I got
everything.
you. Okay, well that makes sense. So Schroeder would have hit 400, and 30 home runs, and
yeah. That sounds good.
It does. A ball and 2 strikes. Coffey trying to get out of this 8th inning. 2 on for the Dodgers. And Barajas continues to hang tough.
Sinking action by Todd Coffey, keeping it in and right off the ankle bone.
His 3-run home run came with 2 strikes and 2 outs back in the 6th. Always have to be leery of a confident hitter. And Barajas is certainly confident tonight. 2 doubles and a homer. Got him. Coffey strikes him out. A long battle with Rod Barajas, but Todd Coffey picks up a big K. Keeps the Dodgers at 5, and now the meat of the order coming up. Braun will lead off, then Fielder. We head to the bottom of the 8th.
Driving runs, having a huge month of August. Rod Barajas out of that number 8 spot. He's 3 for 4 with a big 3-run home run to give the Dodgers their current 5-3 lead.
Well, here we go with Braun and Fielder and McGee. And all 3 on this list, the Powerball home run leaderboard. See Braun with 18, Fielder with 25. Casey has belted 20, and that's how they'll hit in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's some great news coming from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Brian Michalogic reports that Jake Odorizzi and Adrian Rosario combined for a no-hitter for the Brewers Class A Wisconsin affiliate in a 3-0 win over Cedar Rapids. Jake Odorizzi went 8 innings. Adrian Rosario finished it.
Nice.
So a no-hitter in the Brewers minor league system.
Pitch count got the starter.
Just like Rich Harden last night in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, that's outstanding. Congratulations. It was a fantastic game. As Wisconsin picked up the win and the 3rd no-hitter in Timber Rattlers history. A combined effort with Odorizzi and Rosario.
Yep, 1 walk for Odorizzi. That kid can throw the ball a little bit. Some good reports then in the minor leagues. Some guys having some decent years.
I had a chance to visit with Bruce Side a little bit today. We're going to get Bruce back on the air. Tommy doesn't care about what Bruce had to say, I guess. But Bruce was talking about some of his draft picks and how well they've pitched so far this year. Rounds 2 through 5 really having a lot of success in the minor league system. And we're going to get to see a number of those prospects coming up in September. Braun strikes out.
There's that Belisario hard sinker. He throws it with good velocity. And look at the way that ball dips as it gets to home plate. 96 miles an hour with some movement on it.
We saw Hung Chi Kuo loosening earlier. The hard-throwing lefty, he has sat down, and Jonathan Broxton now warming up. Torrey took Broxton out of the closer's role last week. So it'll be interesting to see what Torrey does here. He might give Broxton a chance to close the game. Fielder slices one into the gap. That is well hit. And that baseball is off the wall. Fielder on his way to second. He's got to hurry. And he belly flops his way to a double. Prince Fielder with a double with one away. And now the tying run will in fact come to the plate in the eighth.
And Casey McGee and Prince Fielder just missing home runs tonight. Casey's missed home runs a couple of occasions, and Prince to the opposite field. That's the way you have to do it against Belisario, the way that ball goes away from a lefty. Trying to sink it, it got too much of the plate, and Prince goes right with it. A nice piece of hitting by Prince, a high finish. And off the wall, about midway point on that wall, and Prince had to slide in for a two-bagger. Now the tying run comes to the plate, and the red-hot Casey McGee gets his chance to tie it up.
Just missed a home run, did Fielder, as McGee takes a strike from Belisario. A crowd of nearly 40,000 tonight ready to erupt. McGee with 3 hits, a triple and 2 doubles. And that one is lined right to third. A snap throw to second in time for the double play. And just like that, the inning ends. Belliard to Terrio. 2 outs, 1 swing of the bat. Bad break for McGee.
that has more passion for the game of baseball than Bud Selig. He has more passion for this game than all of us combined, and I mean that. But I honestly believe the first statue that should have gone in front of this stadium should have been Mr. Selig's. He said this also, and I'm a firm believer, I'm not so sure we'd have any of this without Bud Selig.
Some of the comments from Robin Yount, who spoke earlier today at the statue unveiling for Commissioner Bud Selig. Robin did a great job. We head to the 9th inning at Miller Park, and Cameron Lowe is on the pitch for the Brew Crew. The bullpen has gone 2 scoreless. Capuano was scoreless 7th. Coffey went a scoreless 8th. And now Cameron Lowe to try to get the Brewers to the plate again, trailing just by 2 runs. Scott Pasednik will bat for the first time. He came in defensively 2 innings ago. Came in on a double switch. Unfortunate ending to the bottom of the 8th for the Brewers, as Fielder gets caught off the bag too far and is doubled up to end the frame.
Got to be very careful when you're taking that secondary lead when you do not represent that tying run. You know, Prince got caught off just a little bit too far. Good snap throw by Belliard to nip him at second base.
Sednick, and now it's a race to the bag, low in there in plenty of time.
It was amazing the angle that Belliard threw that baseball. It didn't hit Prince.
Right.
And, you know, good concentration over there by Ryan Theriot to be able to catch it. Because that ball didn't miss Prince by much.
Now the baseball, the base runner, and the second baseman all arriving just about the same time. So one away. Here's Theriot now. Theriot and Casey McGee are good friends. They room together coming up in the Cubs minor league system. And they're always up for a little verbal sparring during batting practice. Casey's been known to fire baseballs at him. An unsuspecting Theriot. Let's take it back to that play that ended the 8th inning.
Not by much, huh? Barely able to get him at second base. That's a big out.
Cameron Lowe with that power sinker strikes out Ryan Theriot, second out of the inning. That pitch has got a lot of movement on it.
It looked almost like a slider, but check it out. It dips the other way. That's how quickly it goes down. When he gets on top of that pitch, it becomes unhittable. You know, once in a while, maybe when he gets a bit tired, he gets on the side of it and it flattens out on him.
All right, 2 outs for Ethier. 1 for 3 with a walk. Slaps that one foul out of play. The row of starting pitchers: Randy Wolf, Chris Narveson, Gallardo, and Parra. I think they're doing their best Cameron Lowe impersonation.
And fairly deliberate delivery for Cameron Lowe. He settles himself on that back leg like all good pitchers do. They balance themselves, and not much of a push off on that pitching rubber. That's what allows him to get that sink. You know, not a real long stride. He finishes with a stiff front leg, and that's where he gets that downward movement.
That's a base hit. Ethier with a single to right.
It's those guys that drop and drive hard off of that pitching rubber, off that back leg. Those are the guys that, you know, don't get a lot of movement ordinarily, or you don't expect to get movement. You know, Pete Vukovich, since we've been talking about Vuki, told me one time that if you want to get movement on your fastball, just shorten your stride. I don't think it's as simple as that.
Stay tall, and in Cameron Lowe's case, when they say stay tall, they mean it. It's 6'7".
You shorten your stride, that means you're throwing a little bit more arm, and that's what allows you to get a little bit of movement, but you got to be careful with it.
Now it skips away from Lucroy, and Ethier will end up at second base. A wild pitch. The pinch hitter is Jake Gibbons.
Yeah, tough pitch to handle. You see Lucroy on the outside corner. It misses way off the inside corner. Not much a catcher can do about that.
Jay Gibbons back in the big leagues for the first time since 2007. Actually spent 2 seasons in the Brewers organization, or 1 season, 2 levels. Was in Huntsville in 08 and Nashville in 08. And then he went to independent ball. He's been to independent ball twice to get back to the big leagues.
Now Gibbons has 2 home runs and 20 at bats.
You're going to have to do a lot of multiplication to get that to 500. McGee with room, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Brewers down a pair. Dave Bush's reaction on the 3-run homer by Barajas. That home run is the difference in this game right now. A 3-run home run in the 6th inning with 2 outs. And the rally jersey is on. Let's hope it'll work. Brewers need 2 to tie it, 3 to win it, against hard-throwing Hung-Chi Kuo, who has emerged as the Dodgers closer here lately.
Yeah, check it out. You know, look at the walk-to-strikeout ratio. 15 walks, 54 strikeouts in 45 innings. And a 1.40 earned run average in 43 appearances now. Those are some big-time numbers. They say Kuo can get it up in the mid-90s, 95, 96 miles an hour. Very unusual for a lefty.
Has had 4 surgeries on his left elbow, 2 Tommy John ligament replacement surgeries, and yet here he is in the big leagues, closing games, throwing as hard as ever. His story back to the major leagues, a lot like that of Chris Capuano. Lorenzo Cain will lead off. It's Cain, Gomez, and Lucroy. The Brewers at the bottom of their batting order. Only Cain has been able to reach base tonight among those 3. He walked. And it's quickly 0-2. Kuo is a tough matchup for anyone, especially hitters who haven't seen him, like Cain and Lucroy. Joe Torre was saying that Kuo has been anxious to move into the closer's role. Jonathan Broxton lost that role after a meltdown in Philadelphia. But Torrey has to be very careful how he uses Quo. Because of all the surgeries, he can't use him on consecutive nights. Certainly can't use him 3 consecutive nights, and has to be very cautious with his pitch count. Quo last pitched on the 21st of August. That was Saturday against Cincinnati. And he actually went an inning plus in that game, went an inning and 2/3.
Any way to get on, get that tying run to the plate. Maybe somebody center on one of these big fastballs and knock one out of here.
Little bouncer out to Terrio. Well, Kane is retired, 1 gone in the Brewer ninth. Ted Lilly is in line for the win tonight. It would be his 8th. He would even his record after going 6 1/3 tonight with 3 earned runs allowed. Dave Bush on the hook for the loss. 6 innings, 5 runs. Gomez drops a bunt. Quo spins, fires, and the ball pops out of the glove of Leone. And Carlos Gomez is in there. So a base runner, that's what the Brewers needed. Now the tying run will come up.
That's a good job by Gomez. Anyhow to get on base to bring that tying run up. He made Quo rush, and a poor throw. That'll be a base hit. I'd like to see him do that once a night. One time every night. He might have been safe anyway. It doesn't even have to be a good bunt. And he beats it. That kid can run. I think if he has it, he gets him by a step or by an inch.
Yeah, it looked like Andy Fletcher was ready to call him out, but the ball popped away. And Gomez is safe. So here is Lucroy now, representing the tying run. The pitcher spot is due up next. And Corey Hart has already moved into the on-deck circle. That would be a big bat to get to the plate with a chance to win it.
And very surprisingly, no right-hander getting up in the bullpen. Nothing but right-handers coming up from Milwaukee until Prince Fielder.
Hung-Chi Quo has 1 blown save this year. He's 4 out of 5. John Axford loosening in case this game is tied up. Quo has been very tough on right-handed batters. Let's face it, with his stuff, he's tough on anyone. And he is no longer a matchup situation for Joe Torre. Right-handers only batting 170 against Hung-Chi Quo, and he's given up just 1 home run all season to a right-handed batter. If you're thinking about a long ball. A strike on the outside corner.
Yep, slider, fastball. And the slider just something, a get-me-over pitch. You have to dial it up so quickly with Quo out there. But that slider he throws for strikes is a good pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes. And a bouncer. Quo has it to second. Oh, and it's into center field. Gomez in a big collision at second base with Jamie Carroll.
Quo just can't throw the ball to the bases. This game should be over for all intents and purposes. He tried to get the double play. He threw it high. And now the Brewers have the tying run at first base. That'll be an error.
Boy, violent collision at second base between Carroll and Gomez.
Gomez trying to take him out, but the ball was never in his glove. Look at Gomez, a very late slide. Carroll caught by surprise on it. He gets upended, and he was very fortunate that he did not get injured. He's just turning around, not expecting anything, and he goes over.
Well, it's a good thing his spikes didn't catch in the dirt. So here we go. The winning run is at the plate. Corey Hart. An error from Quo. Hart has missed the last 3 with a hamstring injury, but is available to pinch hit. Ken Maka would love to see him hit one out and take a nice leisurely jog around the bases. Hart has a game-winning home run already this season. Top of the order coming up next. His last game-winning home run came in July against the Pirates. What a big cut.
Well, he goes right after hitters. He doesn't mess around. That one's right down the middle. And Corey might be a bit rusty, a little bit behind it.
The Dodgers have had trouble closing out games since the All-Star break. Corey Hart trying to add to their misery here tonight. Hitters count, 2 balls a strike. Gomez is at second. The tying run is Luke Roy at first.
And still nobody up in the pen for the Dodgers. Very unusual.
From a wrinkle in a hitter's count, and it evens now at 2-2.
We're talking about that slider. It doesn't even have to be that sharp of a pitch or that good of a pitch. Just throw it off speed, and you had Corey out in front of it. Throw it for a strike.
Now Quo has the count back in his favor. The 2-2, and Hart. Little handle shot out to short. Carroll will make the catch. And the Brewers are down to their last out. But a home run threat is coming up in Ricky Weeks.
Well, 5-pitch at bat to Corey Hart. Got behind with a fastball at 94. He threw one right down the middle. Corey behind it. After a 2-1 count, Quo goes with a slider. It gets into Corey's mind, and because of that pitch, Quo able to get it on his hands with a fastball.
Weeks homered in the 5th. He hit one to the opposite field and tied the game. Tying run at first. Brewers down to their last out here against the Dodgers in the 9th. And Ricky takes a strike, a fastball. He's only seen him once. Quo struck him out. They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't. He checks his swing. Ball and a strike to Weeks. Back in the 5th. Something he's done a lot more of this year, Rock. Go to the opposite field for power.
Yeah, breaking ball a middle away, and Ricky waits on it, and look at those strong wrists. They would knock that one off of the face of the second deck and right. Just like a left-handed pull hitter.
That was his 24th homer of the year. Pickoff play at second. Gomez is back.
Yeah, no reason for that. His run doesn't mean anything.
Quo has still not made a good throw to a base yet. He's 0 for 3. That was dug out by Terrio. Nice play. 1-1. Slider strike. Good pitch. That's the kind of pitch that just leaves a hitter thinking at the plate.
And that's why, Corey Hart got jammed on that fastball after the slider. You're not sure what's coming.
Ricky in a defensive spot here. Just trying to stay alive, keep this game going. The 1-2 and a breaking ball fouled away. Had a pretty good cut. Hung-Chi Kuo has never been a closer in the big leagues until this year. Matter of fact, he had just one career save until this season. Well, Joe Torre is giving him the ball to try to save it for the Dodgers here in the ninth. The 1-2, and it's 2-2. Fastball started to creep up there. That's his best fastball so far at 95. But we have not seen the 96, 97 mile an hour fastball that he's featured.
Yep, overthrew that one and almost threw it to the screen. That would have been a huge wild pitch.
Got him. And that's your ball game. Weeks strikes out. Hung-Chi Kuo picks up his 5th save, and the Dodgers come in here to Miller Park and take the opener by a 5-3 final score. Ted Lilly the winner over Dave Bush, and Kuo the save. Still much more to come.